Good luck with
Hello,
this one,
Internet.
Val.
Hi. Hello, Internet. And welcome to Hearts of Stone. We're here to play some Blades in the Dark. We went on a roller coaster ride before the stream started of so many different topics. You'd think none of us had socialized in like several months.
It's been a
it was
couple weeks since we
something.
socialized with each other.
It's
Yep.
true.
Yep.
Except
Val
for
had to leave.
We did
Yeah.
Dune singing. We talked about worms. RJ yelled at me.
Racist Berenstein Bears books. Yeah, it was the whole thing.
Val said some really racist shit.
Yeah, look forward to my apology video.
It's only for
I'll
the
send you my
four of us.
ukulele.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
it's
fun.
just us.
Yeah, RJ, we can play the ukulele in my
Wow.
apology video to you.
To you.
I regret to inform you that ukuleles are also not Vietnamese. What did you call them?
They're Hawaiian.
You dickhead.
You dickhead.
You dickhead.
We haven't even started yet. Come on. I'm gonna die. Oh
Oh
god.
my god.
I'm gonna be calling everybody a dickhead for the rest of the day.
I've never been more grateful that we don't record our pre-session stuff to send to the
I
internet.
would clip that and put it in the Discord so fast.
Oh, buddy. Anyway,
We're kidding. Val, nobody said anything racist. That's a joke.
I am totally fine.
It's a
okay,
joke.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Sometimes I feel like we have to say, this was a joke.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Paw bear.
we need an
from
infographic.
Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, he's
We
a
need a
fucking
graphic that
racist.
just pops up like in like big like
Yeah,
Comic Sans
it was a
font
joke.
across the screen.
I'm gonna do like the more you know, the you know more rainbow. You know, the more
Yeah,
you know
you know
rainbow.
You know more.
Put it at the top.
Wait.
It just says, this is a joke.
I'll do that after break. It's fine.
Cool.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hi. We're here to play some Blades in the Dark. Thank
Glad
you
we
for
started on
joining
time.
us here today. Yeah, I'm glad we did too. We are going to get back. We're going to get into our session here in a moment. But first, talk about what we've got going on the channel currently. I believe right now our lineup is this game Saturdays and Mondays returning. We finally got back to Red Jenny last Monday, which was super exciting. Getting into some downtime before our final arc of the game. We actually officially, after our 2.5 month break, became the longest running show that this channel has had. I beat my own record running super fucking long games that I had only intended to run for 10 sessions.
Yeah, this it is still a mini series, guys.
It is
Don't
still
forget.
a mini-series, just a briff 64 episode mini-series. So come join us in the kind of conclusion of our journey there before we move on to whatever we're going to do next, which we will talk about soon. Otherwise, keep an eye out for many other announcements and other things going on this year. But in the meantime, we're doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and let my lovely players talk about who they are, what they do on and off this channel, and who they're playing tonight. Starting as always with Van.
Hello, I'm Van. You can find me on the internet at Van, but Wilder. Mostly just hanging out in the Discord, which we have that you can join. I'll put the link in the chat. And streaming a couple of times a week here, and then some Sunday nights over on Hack Recklessly. But today, I am playing Glass, who is the Whisper. Chat command to work.
Come on, check me out, you dickhead. Hey, that's me. I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the internet at Creeksid if you have a lot of time on your hands. I'm here on Mondays and Saturdays. Whee! And this afternoon into this evening, I will be playing Salome, who is our group's spider. I'm done. What the hell just happened? I wasn't reading whatever's in chat.
Hey everybody, my name is Archie. Next.
Wait, we can come back to you
He
if
totally
you'd like.
pooped out of his spiel.
You did this to yourself. Archie.
You did this. You.
It just sounds...
Not Val, not Papa Bear, you.
RJ's making memes.
do the stream like this. We have to stop.
Do over. Do it. Mulligan. Mulligan.
No, I'm not starting over. I did fine. Everybody else get the shit together.
Hey everybody, my
I'm
name
not
is
doing
RJ.
it again.
You can catch me at rjustice282 on Twitter, Twitch, and most other social medias. Today I'm playing Fume. He's the robot man. Robot man.
He's the robot man. And he definitely thinks bandits are Vietnamese. I'm gonna start using that as shorthand for like, this person is dumb.
Oh god. Oh man. Hi everybody. I am Wings. Also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com doing nerdy drawings most related to D&D. Today I'm playing as Grackle, who used to be our hound but is now a ghost. DanaeKeener.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Val. You can find me at the Kraken's Craft. Or what are the kids doing? It's that. That's right. You can find the Kraken's Crown lurking around the internet. Mostly just here playing and running games. And yeah, I run the game Red Jenny on my. I'm so thrown off right now. I can't do this. I run Red Jenny on Mondays. We play the Dragon Age TTRPG and something new in the future once we wrap that up. But right now, I try my best to run this game. Are you all ready to get started?
Yep.
Okay. Previously on Hearts of Stone. After completing a information gather, sort of like ally recruitment job with the Wraiths saving Jira, with the Hive saving Jira from the Wraiths, we had a bit of downtime that we got into in our last session, most notably during that downtime while you were prepping for your next job, trying to secure passage out of the Crowsfoot district after this lockdown new public safety initiative had been introduced by the Baron. You, in the process of opening up your new storefront, this bathhouse, Bubbles, Bobbles, and Bliss, I think I had that in the right order, you encountered a strange figure, or Salome, you were alerted to a strange figure in the bathhouse by one of your new employees. A man is seemingly catatonic, boiling alive almost in one of the hot baths in the back of the main public bathing area. You called Glass in to assist you, figure out what was going on with this guy, and were addressed by some seemingly supernatural entity which was puppeting this man. It threatened you to leave, seemingly angry by your presence in having opened this bathhouse, and seemed to have knowledge of your alliance with the Baron. You tried to dissuade this entity of your intentions, and were successful in sort of banishing or removing this presence from the bathhouse for a time. In your interactions with, I believe, actually, I'm trying to remember this because I realized that I didn't have this in my notes. I believe it invited you out to the Deathlands, or you all just decided to go on your own. I'm gonna crowdsource this for a second because I don't have this in my notes right now.
I don't actually remember.
Does anybody remember?
Ask the
I
question
believe
again.
we did some deep diving with
I think so.
the Lord Skurlock, and he told us some info about where the presence might be housed, and so we were like, we should go out to the Deathlands.
Okay.
I believe that's what it
I think
was.
that's right. I realized I didn't have that in my notes specifically. I should have looked it up beforehand. But anyway, you did identify this being as the Horde, a semi-faction within Dustfall, though one that's very on the periphery. some sort of supernatural presence that compels the actions and the wills of the various hollows that occupy Dustfall. People who have had their heartstones destroyed, have lost their soul, so to speak, and find themselves sort of empty shells. The Horde is some sort of alliance of or singular entity controlling these hollows for some unknown purpose. In your research, you concluded that perhaps in treating with this entity, somehow finding its source and either bending it to your will or allying yourselves with it may provide you with a useful tool in your continued fight against the Baron's interests in the city. To accomplish this, after your research, locating that this entity, this presence, probably originates from outside of Dustfall itself, out in the Deathlands, to a ruined district outside of the city, an abandoned district that was sort of cut off from the city after the erecting of the newer lightning barriers, which protect Dustfall from the dangers beyond the walls. You enlisted the help or negotiated the help of some of Grackle's contacts, specifically the Deathland scavengers that Grackle worked with previously in her life. Tatty Boggle and his crew of Mermit, Mawkin, Gallybagger, Hayman, and Hodmadod. We concluded our last session. Yes.
I don't believe those words go in that order because it didn't make sense to me.
You have no idea how long it took for us to square that away.
Those were brainstormed significantly.
Spent so
multiple
much time.
websites were consulted.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So where we are picking up is is your crew in your. I think so. RG, you weren't here for our last session, right? Or
I wasn't here for whatever that was.
Did everyone so we're beginning our score, everyone picked their loadouts, we did our engagement roll, which was favorable for y'all.
Yes.
And we left off with you encountering or sort of introducing yourself to Tatty Boggle's crew at the edge of the city, at the lightning barrier, with the agreement that Tatty Boggle and company would escort you to this to the abandoned district, but after that point they would you would sort of be on your own until you're ready to return. They're not wanting to risk their own lives in this very dangerous place. So I do want to open up. Is there anything that we need to address or anything else in the mission prepping or anything before we jump in, since we kind of ended after the engagement roll last time? Anything that I missed?
I think you need to introduce Tatty Boggle one more time so that
Tatty
RJ
Boggle
can experience it.
Yeah, Tatty Boggle gets some screen time here in a second. Don't
cool.
worry.
Good.
I was gonna say, don't get too excited about showing off Tatty Boggle.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Is Grackle in the box yet?
Oh, that is a good question. Because in order to transport Grackle safely beyond the lightning barrier, which normally would prohibit spirits and spiritual entities from entering and exiting, Glass experimented with imprisoning Grackle with
Pokeballing.
Yeah,
Pokeboxing.
Very
yeah,
horrific.
I made her a nice diorama.
In a rather traumatizing experience for Grackle. Y'all practiced that a few times, but yeah, I guess that's a good question. Is I would assume you did that before approaching.
Yeah. Also, logistically speaking, how does the ghost barrier affect hulls, if anything? Because we're essentially ghosts shoved into a mechanical body.
Mm-hmm. For the purposes, like my thought process on it, is that the process of containing a spirit within a hole is not dissimilar to like what glass is doing with Grackle. That it's the same way. It's like you have spirits, like your souls are contained within your heartstones, but you're able to move in and out. It's like if it is contained within something, trapped within something, it can move through the barrier.
Because I imagine if Fume walks through that barrier, it's basically he's EMPing himself for like half a second.
Yeah, I was probably not comfortable. There's probably a brief moment where like you stumble walking through it, but I think it mostly just messes with your circuitry, but doesn't actually like destroy your spirit or anything in any way.
Nope, this group is enough to destroy my spirits. Tatty Boggle, really?
Hey.
So
not the servants.
Tatty Boggle sitting on one of there's like you're in a small kind of like pavilion area right outside of these this gate that leads out of the city. Essentially you have these massive lightning barriers that are these like columns of like concrete and metal that channel whatever like the power source. There are massive generators within the city that power these lightning barriers. You feel like the thrumming of electricity and power through these, like you're saying that too close to like a power line. You can almost like feel that electricity on your skin, those of you that have skin still. There's a small pavilion here, and then a little almost like a gatehouse at the base of this barrier. It doesn't look this obviously isn't like a well-traveled place. Most people don't enter and exit the city. The only people that are exiting through here are the scavengers and the Iron Hook prisoners that are sort of conscripted and sent outside the gates to scavenge for supplies. So you have there is a presence of guards here, blue coats, that are kind of keeping an eye over things. Mostly it's the Iron Hook guards that you can see have like small cohort of prisoners that they're outfitting in very minimal equipment, giving some bags and then just like shoving through the gates. Most of the prisoners don't seem too happy about this assignment. Some of them looking very nervous, and you can see some like pushing away and like almost like shaking in fear as they're being pushed outside of the city. Tatty Boggle and his crew do not seem as nervous. They're very well outfitted with equipment, weapons. They strike you as a group, and Grackle knows this, as a group that has done this many times at this point. Tatty Boggle's sitting on a bench near one of the tables of the pavilion, is like packing up like rolling some cigarettes that he's putting in a small tin box, and after you make your introductions, kind of like looks over, spits on the ground, says, well, all right, we're gonna get going here in a minute. So get our stuff, we're gonna get out. And you can see the mermet who's standing next to him kind of like looks down, who's like sort of a like middle-aged woman with like a like mostly shaved head, and has a like it seems to be kind of like the left hand, like like second in command for this group. She looks down at him and kind of looks at you and says, well, just to be clear, he said, get your stuff and we're going to get going here in a minute.
No, surprisingly, I did understand what he said.
Oh, right. There's a very thick accent. Some people don't pick up on what he's saying, but I can translate if there's anything that doesn't quite make it. So.
Definitely good to know. Cheers.
She kicks one of the guys that's laying on the ground. You were introduced as Heyman, who is sort of lying there, is like had his hat pulled over his eyes as he was like laying with his head over against his bag, sleeping on the ground. He kind of stirs awake as she kicks him, and they begin to come to life. They have other than the equipment and stuff they're carrying on them, the only other thing they have with them are 2 goats pulling a small wagon that also has some like seems like some supplies, but it's pretty much empty. There's probably what they're going to load up with anything they're bringing back with them. So, otherwise, they're all on foot, and they begin to prepare. So, with Grackle in a box, the rest of you all outfitted, you grab your supplies and equipment. Y'all were not bringing any sort of like, you don't have your carriage or anything. You don't have any sort of like transportation with you, do you? Obviously, you don't have a boat. There's no water, but
We could bring the goats.
Should we? Do we feel like that might be helpful?
Do we need the goats?
Just
it's
for
up to you.
overland travel?
Yeah, there are pros and cons to it. We'd move faster if we had the carriage, but also we're a bigger target.
Mm-hmm.
Our carriage does have armor.
All right. But I'm worried about the goats.
And with armor and larger, swifter goats.
Unless the wasteland is worried about our goats.
Most carriages in the city.
You're
are
trapped
such-
here with me!
Would it be Acrosian? What's Acarosian? They're from Acaros. Am I saying that right?
Maybe. I haven't considered that. That sounds right to me.
Well, that's where the goats are from, according to
Okay.
the lore.
Yeah, I mean, you would know. I mean, animals are as susceptible to any of the dangers of the Deathlands as y'all are. So bring them with you, but you're responsible for keeping them safe.
What's the situation with the adventuring party that's guiding us?
As far as like how they're moving.
Yeah.
So other than the two ghosts they have pulling this wagon, they're on foot.
I think we should follow on foot then. Yeah.
Hoof it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So for again for context, you're in just south of Barrowcleft. I'm going to kind of ping where y'all are at on the map here. You're just south of Barrowcleft, exiting the city here, and for most of you, it's your first time stepping out of Duskfall
Can you ping again
into
and
the
see?
Deathlands beyond.
At the very least, in many years.
Mm-hmm. As you exit, you're exiting into what's marked as district as like that number 6 on the map. There is the Old North Port, which is a former like docking and supply yard for ships back when the city was larger. This is where most of the this was the main port for Duskfall. However, obviously being outside the barrier now is completely abandoned. You see ruined buildings long since fallen to disrepair, roofs collapsed in on themselves, older architecture, because we're talking, you know, probably close to like 50, somewhere between like 50 80 years since any of this like transpired. So this is all like older architecture. There isn't even like, you can see the advances made in technology in comparison as like where Dustfall is kind of in a proto steampunk era. The this is all more like medieval in construction. The other than the ruined buildings, you can see the wastes beyond, a desolate landscape devoid of any greenery, vegetation of any kind. It's not dusty and desert like. There's no heat to create a sort of a dry environment. Instead, it is crags and rocky landscape. Anywhere where it sort of dips down, the terrain is full of like this sludge and mud from any of the moisture that accumulates and kind of rolls over the hills. There are in the distance, the main concern that you can see, like Mermaid and Tattyball kind of pointing out as they begin to kind of navigate, you can see they're taking a very close eye on like wind direction. they pause. Like a couple of them will move forward. Like Mermit will travel forward with a couple of the others. They'll kind of stake things out, and then the wagon will kind of move based on their directions. But they're keeping a very close eye on kind of the breeze and the wind and where it's blowing in from, because you can see in the distance these rolling like clouds of it looks like the same fog that is very common in Duskfall, but is off color, darker, more opaque in nature, and almost seems to have like almost like a life to it. You can see like tendrils of the fog kind of like branching out, like reaching across the landscape as it rolls over the hills like some sort of amorphous creature. These miasmas, some of you may know, or at least you're pointed out by the other scavengers here, are one of the bigger threats that they face in the Deathlands proper, kind of out in the wastes. These miasmas are toxic. You would die just from breathing them in, and even if you managed to filter the air, or if you had a mask like some of the members of Tatty Boggle's crew do, usually there are creatures and beings within the miasmas that can be as dangerous as the miasma itself.
So these miasmas are just roaming clusterfucks.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm recommending you.
Mm-hmm. You know, oddly enough, I'm starting to pick it up too.
I know, right?
We're gonna keep heading that way, so stay low, move fast.
Fume crouches and starts moving quickly.
I can't even imagine what my captions are saying when I do this.
It's picking up more than you would think.
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
see, everyone is.
yeah. Okay.
Surprisingly.
All right.
That's my secret. I've just been reading the captions. Tech and logic.
So you rolled a success on your engagement roll for this job. So we're gonna kind of cut to the action here. As you venture outside of the city, they keep very close to the lightning barrier as you are journeying east. You have a pretty long trek here because you basically have to completely circumvent the city in order to get up to the Lost District. That's the far, like, northeast point. You're basically exited on the complete opposite side of the city that you need to get to. As you journey east, you're able to avoid any sort of danger they might point out. You aren't even sure, like, with the scavengers, what they are noticing necessarily, but they will just suddenly like kind of veer off in a southern direction and fully move around something that they've seen without. They're not really explaining much to you. They're just sort of trusting that you're going to trust that they know what they're doing. But they'll see something scout ahead. One of them will report back with a nod. They just all avoid certain areas. Some of it is the topography, the terrain here, not wanting to get their wagon caught in the mud or in some sort of crag, risk breaking a wheel. Otherwise, there may be some sort of dangers or creatures that they're trying to avoid tussling with.
I imagine it's like something super innocuous, like a broken branch on a tree somewhere, and they're like, wait a second, go around.
Yeah. Things that look very innocuous to you, but clearly present some sort of danger that they are picking up on. You reach the Dusk River, which is kind of the first major obstacle that you have to ford here. There is no bridge, but there is a like a ferry in the old-fashioned sense, just a big like platform that has been built on the that's on the southern edge of the river right now, with a pulley system that kind of pulls it across with anything that is on top of it. You load up the wagons onto that, and the trip has to be made in like 2 different parts here. Essentially loading up the goats and the wagons with a couple of the crew, sending that across, and then sending it back to pick y'all up. While the wagon is heading across with the goats, and we'll say that Heyman and Hodmadon are on the on there as well, kind of pulling the levers and fording this river. You are the 3 of you with Grackle in a box are on, assuming she's still in the box, or have y'all let her out at this point?
The ghost.
That's the big thing, is how much are we telling these guys, you know?
I want to
think
let
we
her out
decided-
at the first opportunity, but
Yeah, I think we decided we didn't want them to see her like this.
Okay. So we do it surreptitiously.
Or like we could have Glass sneak off and then come back. Hey, look who I found! They're catching up with us.
A ghost.
a ghost.
A
A
ghost.
ghost.
As if to also Grackle's staying in the box for now.
Coming out surreptitiously if possible, I guess?
She doing just fine.
That's a cage.
She ain't happy in
can't.
there, brah.
You can't keep a ghost in a cage. Are you crazy? They squeeze right out of there.
It's true.
Yeah, I'll try to let her out
Okay.
when no one's paying attention.
I mean, this is probably a good opportunity while like everybody's split up and they're focusing on the crossing the river. Do I want to make you roll for this?
Can we do a group prowl on this to try to...
I don't think this is a group thing. I think this is just
Damn.
whoever is doing
It's a
it.
Glass
Like this
thing.
is just Grackle or Glass doing this.
Can we help?
Someone could assist. Yeah,
I want to
um,
assist.
absolutely.
Can
I'm
I
gonna-
also?
I'm gonna assist by pulling out one of my items, my fine bottle of whiskey, and
Oh,
start passing that out to the remaining folks. Just little nips. We still have a job to do.
I was just
Okay.
gonna yell, "Hey, look, what's that?"
It's one of
Hey,
my
look over
always
there.
available. It's one of my always available items anyway. I would go like fine cover identity, the vial of Slumbler essence, fine bottle of whiskey, the whole thing. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a good distraction. You kind of, as you're waiting, because it takes probably close to like 15 minutes or so for the ferry to go across and come back. So while you are waiting, you pass around your bottle just as a distraction while Glass kind of peels away from the group a little bit to let Grackle out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think
Like the kid who like snuck their cat into show and tell in their backpack.
I think this would be a finesse roll.
Okay. I'm good at that.
Yeah. Kind of a reverse pickpocket.
Okay. So that's 3 dice for me and then 1 from Salome.
From the assist, yeah. We're gonna call it it's not desperate. We'll say risky standard.
Okay. Five.
Okay.
5.
With a 5, you kind of slink off from the not too far away where anyone would notice that you are that's not the music I wanted. Hold on. Try this one. Not far enough away that anybody would suspect anything, but far enough that hopefully people won't notice as you take out the little box that you've sealed Grackle inside of and open it, and Grackle from
Please
your
don't make a scene.
from your eternal confinement within the box. You, you find yourself suddenly free as you feel the pressure around you dissipate, and you are able to exit back into the world.
Okay.
You're right.
Could be better.
We should be all right for the foreseeable future. Just don't make a scene. Not that you ever do.
I know how to lay low, especially out here.
As you are freed from this confinement, you feel this. There is a strangeness to this place as a spirit outside of the barrier, where you can feel like an electricity in the air, almost for lack of a better term, like the things that are filtered out of Duskfall and kept very controlled are wild and free here. There's almost a sense that if you lingered in this place for too long, that you would lose yourself. Like there, it is, you're a drop of water in an ocean. Like there's so much, and I think glass, you can feel it too. Being a whisperer, like you're attuned to these kind of things. Like there's just this energy everywhere of like, you can feel the lingering presence of thousands of souls, the enormity of the people who have been lost or were lost in the calamity that destroyed the sun and rendered this world into darkness. The millions upon millions of people that died, their spirits linger in the lands beyond here, and you can feel that sort of that pressure, that presence here. And Grackle is not like, this isn't the end of Hidalgo and you're a horse that's finally found its people. It's not a happy present. It's not a happy feeling.
What a reference.
Like
What a pull.
Wow.
This isn't like I'm going to
Hidalgo.
be free among my people. This is like there is a maelstrom of chaos and suffering that
I could be swept away.
that will sweep me away if I do not hold fast here.
I imagine it's like holding a bird that like has been raised indoors like all its life outside, and it's like capable of flying, and like you feel like the moment it flies away you'll never see it again.
But also as a hurricane. I think that's
Just like in Hidalgo.
yeah.
Just like Hidalgo.
Just like Hidalgo.
Speaking of
My favorite natural disaster movie.
Blister?
I canonically found my horse out here.
Yes.
Can I summon my horse?
Yeah, I'll say yes. I'll say
Yay!
your horse is more of a tether to yourself. Like it is almost part of your being than it is more of a separate entity. One question I will ask, so the horse, I definitely think you have. The real question is if you have access to your grackles.
Oh.
No,
Because they are very much inside the city. I suppose they could fly over the barrier, but it would be dangerous for them to be out here.
I feel like, speaking of birds hand raised and released into the
If
wild,
you let Moonshine out here, he's never coming back.
Moonshine's gonna become a waste ghost.
One of them's named Windershins. Isn't that like bad luck?
Widdershins
It's just
It
counterclockwise.
just means counterclockwise.
Which
Clockwise.
anything going left was considered bad.
Considered bad luck, yeah. So it's just counterclockwise, which was considered bad luck. Yeah, I think that Grackle would leave the Grackles home. That she cares about them too much. I feel like that's a no-go. I feel like anytime she went out into the wasteland, the Grackles stayed home.
Okay. So Grackle sort of manifests in a slightly incorporeal presence in front of you, Glass. Enough, and you're enough away and kind of blocking that you're hoping that the people behind you either aren't noticing or aren't seeing. They don't. There's no immediate call to alarm. Nobody seems to have immediately noticed. But as you're looking at Grackle, you feel this. The spirits in Dustfall have a natural sense of like an electricity or a power around them. They are pure energy in their basest element. So there is again that resonance with the lightning barrier here, that draw to that, almost like a like one of the mosquito
Giant bug zappers.
bug zappers. Like you kind of feel that, that's dangerous. Definitely don't want to go near that. But you also feel this like surge electricity and Glass. You see this like crackling of electricity off of Grackle that kind of carries out. And you don't know if this is just a reaction to something that was already happening or something has noticed Grackle's presence, but you see kind of picking up along some of the hills in the distance, you see a like there's a static, an electricity that is beginning to kind of roll over the terrain in your direction.
Well, that's probably not good.
Y'all need to get cover.
Don't go too far, all right?
So you notice that, yeah, Grackle, where are you going? What are you doing?
She's gonna jump on her horse and keep a distance, but enough that she can basically provide overwatch.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
As we're walking along the barrier, could I make just some study rolls on it? Just
Absolutely.
to see, like, basic composition, like, what kind of power it's outputting?
Yeah, definitely. You want to try to understand a little bit more about it. So here's what I will say. Yeah, you can do a study roll.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do something a little different here. So I think this is pretty controlled. But as far as the effect, I think it depends on how much you're trying to understand. If you're just wanting like a passing understanding of like, how much power does it take for this thing to work, kind of utilizing some of your real world knowledge to just kind of get understanding on a very surface level of this thing, I'd call that a standard effect.
But if I wanted a more in-depth
If
knowledge
you wanted
of
to
it?
fully understand how this thing works, I would call that, based on your current situation, I would call that no effect, and you would have to push yourself in order, or
Okay.
utilize something else to increase the effect there.
All right. Above the table talk. One of my abilities is electroplasmic projection. So studying the barrier, I'm hoping to get the properties off of it so that eventually, if shit goes down, I can use my electro barrier to mimic the electric field.
I like it. Okay. Um, is there a way that we could assist you? I'm throwing all the fucking assists out, y'all, because I've got my 2 freebies and I have the lowest stress right now. So just Salome's just bopping around like, do you need anything? What about over here? Are you all right? So yeah. May I assist them?
Oh yes, you may. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one of my my freebie assists
Absolutely.
without taking.
Yeah.
And I'll put that
So-
into effect for limited.
Okay, you're trying to understand as much as possible, so that makes it a limited, controlled, limited effect.
And if I myself take stress to push, then I can put it to have a standard effect.
Yes.
And I will do that.
Okay.
Okay, there's a 6 in there, at least.
Excellent. So full success, standard effect. Perfect. You I mean, you probably had about 2 hours of walking next to this barrier, during which time we're kind of like retconning a little bit. This is happening prior to what Glass just noticed. You took your time to during this walk to study the barrier as much as possible, and you learn a couple of things. To your initial question about like how much power this takes, this is probably the barrier itself, you would imagine, is probably where at least 50% of the Leviathan blood that is imported into Dustfall goes towards to power.
Holy shit!
This is a massive structure, and I think you probably haven't spent much time like it's the barrier is something that always exists. You don't like I can't imagine that I don't imagine Fume has ever like been like, oh, I'm just gonna go wander out to the edge of the city to take a look at this thing.
That wasn't his like purview, like his interest.
Yeah, but now with your current interests and everything drawing your attention to it, yeah, I mean this is a massive undertaking at a phenomenal scale. The people who developed this barrier in the like infancy of sparkcraft technology were at the like I mean these were essentially the Einsteins and
The pinnacle, bleeding
yeah,
edge of technology.
yeah, they had a breakthrough which essentially saved the city. This is I mean this is a phenomenal feat of necessity and technological engineering that has not been replicated since. um or at least not has not been improved upon since, except as you're looking at it, obviously there are main pylons that are probably about they're probably about a mile apart each, maybe like half a mile, and then there's like these pylons in between that kind of channel the current, but all of it in a very simple way. It's just raw electricity that is being funneled through these pylons to create a barrier around the city. Um, the the interesting thing about it is like that on its own is would be enough to draw and like dissuade spirits from entering through, but spirits are drawn to this sort of current. They actually like feed from it and through it, so that on its own wouldn't protect the city. There's more to it going on here, um and I think what clicks with you in a moment is that you have seen this technology being utilized somewhere else, and you realize that you have seen a much more refined or like compact version of this same technology uh being utilized when or shortly before uh you blew up Dis. There were elements of this that were present in the Baron's workshops, and you realize like what's a little bit like the extra step beyond just like raw power going through these lightning barriers is there is a uh kind of quasi like arcane element to it, almost like you can't see inside without actually like busting open or like going inside one of the pylons. You would imagine that's similar to like your own like the technology that makes holes, everything, that there is an element of like the occult, of like arcane rune work and spellcraft that went into the construction of these to not just channel the power but channel it for a purpose, to create a sort of dampening effect or a kind of repelling effect against the supernatural. And it's very confined to the exact to the exact location of the barrier, whereas like the barrier itself and only the barrier sort of repels and destroys anything within the ghost field, anything that moves through it. But if someone were to turn that technology and not contain it, but instead release it or expand upon it, channel it outwards, they would be able to essentially destroy the ghost field, repel spirits on at a much larger scale. If this was done differently, they could not only repel spirits at the barrier, but both within and outside of the city. And you realize that with a full success and with everything that you just did there, I think it dawns on you, it clicks in your mind that that dampening effect that I think Glass probably spoke to at some point when you entered Night Market and began to notice it for the first time, that you've noticed at various other points over the last few years, that has been going on within the city, and it appears that that is the Baron has utilized the technology that initially created the lightning barrier to create some sort of destruction field that essentially repels all spirits, all supernatural, destroys the ghost field within a certain area.
Fume's eyebrows are just stitched together. Furious concentration, just like hand under chin, thinking.
Taps him on the head. Oh no, he broke. Oh, thank goodness.
Hello, yes, sorry, I might have come to a very disturbing realization.
Oh,
The technology that is proprietary to the electric field is also being utilized by the Baron, and I think that he has made it so he has tuned the field for spiritual destruction.
which is why certain areas seemed blank for Glass.
To what end? Oh, me? Red string. Could I use you as a rubber duck? It's
Expound.
a thing. It is a it's a thing back in Spock Craft Academy. The instructors would give us a rubber duck, and then we would have to talk to the rubber duck, at which why we are doing certain things and the processes to make sure that one, it is sound in our heads, and two, we catch our corrections and mistakes.
No squeezing.
No squeeze.
Go ahead.
Fume begins to expound and like theorize and like if I could probably do it in this body if I had enough Leviathan blood, but that would probably shrek my circuits.
While Fume is kind of going off on this like conspiracy, like
He's made a cork board out of like a cacti.
Yeah, well, you're just like talking through all this and just like talking at Salome. Everyone else focused on the platform going across back to Glass. I think it is at this moment you've released Grackle. You see that thing in the distance. What does Glass do?
This I should probably notify our guides that this is happening. Yeah, I'll go to, I don't know whoever's with us. Is Tatty Boggle here? He's my favorite.
Yes. Currently on your side, though, so Heyman, Hodmedad, and the wagon with the goats, they're crossing right now. So you have Tatty Boggle, Mermet, Mockin, and Gallybagger on your side.
Mr. Boggle, dear. I don't imagine that's a good sign.
He's like taking a swig from the
very
from the
fine
drink.
whiskey.
You have the whiskey and like is holding it there. Begins to hand it back to you, Salome. Looks
Is that
behind
something
him.
we should be concerned about? Because
He sees,
it's raising the hairs on the back of my neck.
Goes, all right, and we get to it. Kind of looks to the others, and you can see like everyone's attention is drawn that way. He begins to shout out to them. You can see many of them like begin to pull out uh you remember like the railjack like prods, essentially. You have one of them, your like lightning hook
Mm-hmm.
implement. They pull out like modified versions of those. Some of them most of them like have that hooking apparatus at the end. Some of them just look like batons, essentially sparking with like electricity at the end. Things specifically meant to ward off the supernatural. And you see Tatty Boggle actually pulls out from underneath his jacket uh essentially a like on a chain around his neck, there's probably like 14 spirit warding talismans on it of like varying designs and constructions. It's just like jingle together like
Different
a collection.
faiths and denominations.
I was seeing. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just getting Benny
Benny
from
from
the
the
Mummy
Mummy.
vibes
Yes,
from this.
exactly. He pulls that out,
Except
so
more
it's on full
badass.
display as he draws his own kind of like sparkcraft, like his own lightning hook. And you, as they all turn, you can see the wagon, or the wagon's made to the other side. Actually, I think Mawkin and Gallybagger are still working at the winch, trying to get across, and they begin to work a little more frantically to try to get the get the ferry back to your side so you can cross. A lot of like everything kind of ramping up.
Is the winch on our side or their side?
There's a winch on both sides.
Okay.
They're currently working the winch on your side to try to pull it back. But the I guess Heyman and Hamadan on the other side, they're like getting the wagons together. I mean, they're a good like quarter mile on the other side, like across this river. So they haven't quite noticed what's happening, like the franticness on this side. I think Mawkin and Gallagher begin to like shout across the river that something's happening to get them on the winch as well, to start working it to make it move faster too.
Could I, after rubber ducking Salome, just like, sorry, game time.
I don't like that phrase.
Don't like it either.
It,
I guess
it is
with
a,
her consent, but
Yeah,
it is a thing
There's
in my
space.
programming class, I swear.
I love it. No, that's great.
I would like to get up to the winch, go, I could do that faster.
the two of them look at this scrawny nerd that are
I recommend
staring-
just letting him do it.
Scrawny old nerd, by the way,
yeah as
I'm in my 30s in this form, excuse you.
which is old here.
Oh, true.
Salome be old too. Come on.
Gallagher looks over to Tatty Boggle, who just kind of like shrugs as he's clearly focused on what's going on, and Gallagher turns and says, "All right, you say so," and grabs out his weapon to help, leaving the winch to you and Mawkin.
He turns to Mawkin, gives them a wink. I won't tell if you won't. Undoes his cloak. There is the clockwork mechanical as things start to speed up. I'm going to use my overcharge ability to take one drain to perform a feat of extreme strength or speed.
Perfect.
Very good.
Yes, absolutely. So let's make it a roll then. What would this be?
Could I use Tinker? Because I'm using my alchemical body. I could also spend more strength to make it a Tinker, more drain to make it a Tinker check. Instead, with my...
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. This is more about the check of you actually manipulating your own physiology to make this possible. Absolutely. Yeah, so Tinker, we'll call this Desperate, and we'll call it Standard Effect. Actually, we'll call it Great Effect because you used the ability.
Oh, that's gone forever. I got a 5.
Got a 5? Okay.
Singular 5.
You begin to like Mawkin almost just like steps back at this point because sees this like you're clearly like, I think identifies like, oh, this person is a hole. That's not necessarily strange. That's become a lot more common recently. As you kind of like go into overcharge mode, like sparks coming off of like from your skin itself.
It's more like he bulks up slightly because like the
Mhm.
paneling on his shoulders and body expands so that the muscle fibers can have
Uh-huh.
more room to expand. It's all
Yeah.
hydraulics.
Yes, and as like you like audibly begin to make like a whirring noise as you begin to like crank at the lever to the point that like mocking isn't necessary. You're doing this a lot
Pull
faster
the
than he could.
lever!
I will say, so with the mixed success, you're speeding this process up a lot, but you can only speed it up to a point without actually breaking
it,
the
yeah.
mechanism. So you're cutting this down by a lot to try to buy you more time. Actually, going to go ahead and start a clock here.
Yay!
We're gonna do this. I'm just gonna copy one of the ones we have. There we go. I'm just gonna expand that, and we will since it was a mixed success, you can do this. You can continue to try this again if you want. There will be different like risks to it to try to move this along, but you've made progress in trying to move that. Actually, no, you had great effect. Hold on. So you had great effect. So I think it's going to be 2 ticks here.
Yeah. I'm more or less going to be on the crank duty until we're real desperate. Then I'll hop off.
So that is happening. Essentially, this
Question.
clock is for y'all getting back across or getting onto the ferry and getting away from this thing. Escaping
Okay.
it.
Question. The ferry. What exactly are we ferrying across?
Yourselves.
No, I mean, what is it's a body of water? Is it a...
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is the Dosk River.
Okay. Are we going to, I don't know, immediately explode if we touch this water? Is it moving very rapidly? Is there anything that would like...
There's a steady current to it, but not. And this isn't like necessarily like fast moving. I think like the Mississippi River.
Okay.
I think your biggest concern is like, one, you know that the water itself it's very dark. There are creatures and stuff, hagfish, things like that within the river that would probably be dangerous to get inside of.
But as like
it's mostly
worst case scenario, like that thing's coming upon us and we gotta swim.
It's not instant death to get to the river, no.
Okay.
You're okay with that.
They'll be checks, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, your biggest concern is just like it would be with all of your gear and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could not just swim across this river. You'd have to ditch your gear.
Got it.
So, what else? So Grackle, you're off. Like you see this happening. You're off. You know, kind of on the periphery, riding your ghost horse, and you can see that some sort of spectral entity of some kind, some sort of like malevolent spirit, is quickly pushing towards. Has noticed the signs of life and is quickly pushing towards the group.
I got a question about ghosts fighting ghosts. That's the question.
Oh, okay.
Ghost fight?
Can ghost fight ghost? Yeah, I think in Pokemon rules, I think you're
super effective
against each other.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, we've got 2 ghost types on the team: a steel type and a psychic type.
Yep.
I mean,
Great.
if we can both kill each other in one hit, it only matters who hits first.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. You know that. You know, again, Pokemon logic, completely solid. Being a supernatural entity, you could easily hurt this thing, but it could also hurt you.
Does Grackle have a ghost lasso?
Yes, I used it to drag somebody to hell.
Yes, you did. You did.
You absolutely did.
I really want you to hi-ho silver this thing.
Yeah.
Away from us, yeah.
Into the ghost field.
Sure, okay. I feel like sure, yeah. Sure. Okay, sure, let's try it. What's the worst that could happen?
Don't do
A
this on my
lot.
account. Do it.
A
Do
lot.
it because you want to, not because I suggested.
I think that like what Grackle would do here is start riding towards it to kind of get like a handle on what it like she wants to. This is a scouting mission. She's gonna go and figure out what that is, and if there's like any way to like deter it from her friends.
Who
Like,
dat be? What dat do?
Yeah, do you want to do this
Information.
as we do this as a setup maneuver?
okay, yeah,
Um,
totally.
That seems to be probably be the most it's kind of what you're accomplishing, where you're trying to do something that would help your friends. So I'm getting that back up in the book because we haven't done this. Is the same position. Where is it again? Action roll, resistance rolls.
How much money do I have to throw at this thing to go away?
It's private.
I don't have money. I'm a ghost.
I have ghost currency.
Oh, is ghost currency not just people? People food?
I mean, kinda. Okay.
Food of people?
So setup. When you perform a setup action, you have an indirect effect on an obstacle. If your action has the intended result, any member of the team who follows through on your maneuver gets +1 effect or improved position for their roll. So what kind of roll are we thinking here? If it's like a survey, I mean, I could see a survey working. I could see an attune, but I know you're not very good at that.
I was thinking a survey.
Okay, let's do survey.
Okay, risky standard.
I guess I'd also allow a hunt here, too.
I mean, it doesn't really matter either way.
Okay.
They are both the same.
Okay, we'll call it. No, I think we're still in a desperate situation. So we'll call this desperate standard.
Oh. La-ti-da. That's worth experience, baby.
A.
Yes, it is.
4.
4.
Okay.
Okay. You on your ghost horse that does have a name.
Buttercup.
Buttercup. That's right. You ride up like towards kind of getting like parallel to where you can see this like almost like lightning storm kind of approaching, and you can see at the center of it like kicking up the dust and the debris around is this it is a spirit. You can see it has a like not corporeal, it has like a recognizable form to it, like humanoid form, but it is distorted in this way that you see like very long, like double jointed arms and legs, like it is kind of extending outwards and grabbing at the ground and kind of like running across it on all fours.
It's Cobb.
Yeah, it looks
Oh
like
shit.
it is this essentially this is the spirit of some sort of human, a person who has completely lost sense of themselves and is fully just hunting down any sort of like form of life that it can sense, and it is in this feral state, kind of moving across the terrain, just hurtling towards the crew. You are able to, I'm going to say with your setup, probably the way that this best helps them is if you kind of draw it out a little bit more, like making it lash out towards you so the others can see it, have a better sense of what they're dealing with, maybe like momentarily distracting it as you get close. it kind of clocks you, and it doesn't necessarily seem like it is not focused on you. It really doesn't seem like it has much interest in you,
Mm-hmm.
but it almost, you get that sense of a predator that sees another predator nearby and lashes out of like that animalistic instinct to say, this is my prey. And it like swipes one of its these elongated arms towards you, which almost seems to like stretch out even further, the hand expanding as lightning cascades off of it, and it strikes out in your direction. You are, I'm trying to remember, can you take harm? I believe you still can.
I have to actually remember how harm works. I've been a ghost for so long.
I know.
Um. Ooh.
Strange forces,
Can,
ghost.
can ghosts take harm?
Emotionally, yes.
Dear Princess Celestia,
I mean, I think you still can.
I have a harm clock.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in it that says, like, there's nothing that I see that says a dog can't play basketball. So I'm assuming, unless it says otherwise, that you can still take harm and stuff as normal.
I'm gonna do a quick Google just to confirm. Blades in the dark. Ghost. Oh my god, I ain't reading all that. The first Reddit post has like 5 like very hefty paragraphs. Yeah, I reckon. Ghosts take limited damage from physical attacks. Right. Okay, yeah, totally. Yeah, ghosts totally can take harm.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought.
It's just physical. It's limited damage from physical attacks.
Yeah.
And I like not physical attacks, normal damage.
Yes, yeah. It's
Cool.
just the efficacy of it, it changes for a ghost, but you can still take harm. Okay, so you are going to take a level 2 harm.
Mm-hmm. I'll tank it.
As the ghost strikes after you. You can resist if you want to try to resist, but
Well, if I resist and I take 1 stress or drain, I will take a gloom, which I'm not so fussed about. But if you like,
It removes you from this encounter, doesn't it?
if you overclock your stress, then you're removed from the encounter, right?
yeah.
I would prefer that didn't happen.
Okay. So it strikes out at you. You feel almost a physical impact from like this is probably the first like physical sensation that you've had in a bit, as the claws kind of like rake across you, like disrupting your incorporeal form to the point where you feel like pain. I'll let you decide exactly like how you want to describe that harm in the, because it is a physical harm, but it's physical harm for a ghost. So something like a, laceration doesn't really make sense.
Sure. I'm gonna call it destabilized, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I like that.
I imagine like it lashes out at her, like it's kind of like a side like getaway kind of thing. And like she gets buffeted by it, like Buttercup stumbles to the side. And like Grackle had put up her arm to kind of protect herself. When she puts her arm back down, like she feels something wet on the side of her face and like, like touches her face and like sees like ghost blood.
Yeah.
Ghost blood.
Ghost blood.
And I think she like chuckles sort of darkly at that, like, oh wow, I can do that.
Perfect. So this creates enough of a distraction that one of you can capitalize on. So I will open it up for I think Salome and Glass haven't taken an action yet.
Okay. We can either
To fight ghost.
try to figure out a way to continue to fight ghosts
Oh,
and
I
keep them
will-
at bay,
Oh,
or
no,
we can try to figure out a way to help Fume get the ferry across faster, or we can start trying to figure out a game plan for if ferry not get across fast enough, how we get cross river without losing all of our supplies.
I have something that could help with ferry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you
I
back.
will also let y'all know, just like game mechanics wise, dealing with the ghost or dealing with the fairy both will help move the clock along. Like you can capital. This is all one encounter kind of thing.
Okay.
So my idea is get everyone in the ferry. I clamp onto the bottom of it and I start rotating my feet like propellers.
I was going to summon a tempest and blast us with a big wind.
Let's go with that. That's cooler.
That is cool. So you want to try to summon a tempest to try to push the ferry along faster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love
Roaring winds.
Okay. You can definitely do that. So you push yourself to be able to have ability to do this.
Mhm.
You
And
want
then-
help?
I don't have to roll. I just do it.
Well,
Oh,
you
amazing.
rolled it. I'm gonna have you roll to attune for the effects of it. So
Yeah.
you spending the stress is what allows you to even do it, because normally you couldn't just say, I do this. You spend the stress to be able to do this thing, and then we'll roll a tune to see how effective you are on it.
Okay, got it.
You want help?
Sure.
I don't have much in this particular situation that Salome can do other than talk to the ghost. I don't know. But so I will help. I help.
Power me up.
I help.
Okay. How is Salome helping Glass?
Give me your life energy.
I was gonna say it gives you a swig of whiskey and just starts
Yeah,
like
that-
doing
That's
doing
what I call whiskey.
the boxer in the corner thing. I'm just like, all right. I mean, the whiskey's already out. I mean, come on.
Let's do it. All right. Take a swig. Oh, that is quite nice.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Eyes
Top
go white. Thunderclap overhead.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll a tune with an assist.
What are my?
We're gonna say again, all of these are desperate now, so I'll say desperate. What your position and effect?
Position.
Yeah. So we'll say desperate, and again, because you're pushing yourself, like with the same with Fume, I'll say great effect here.
Okay. Mark an XP. Salome is gonna give me 5 dice. Gotta be something good in here.
Come on.
Gotta be something good in here.
Tell me something good.
That's a 6.
Yeah, tell
That's
me
a
that you
6.
love me. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. With a full success, that is 3 ticks on the clock.
To scare the scarecrows.
As well, I guess it's still on the table for someone to use, because you didn't use the additional die from Grackle's setup. So whoever does something next
right.
can use that.
Could I use my analytic ability to snipe?
I could roll a 6th die and see if we get a critical.
It's up to you, or you can leave it and somebody else.
No,
can
we
use it,
can-
'cause
I can try something stupid.
up to you. So I'll say with Glass, suddenly this storm manifests in this area. Like, I think it's it's cloudy and stuff. It's not like suddenly like a thundercloud appears, but it's like the clouds
That would be
grow a
scary.
little darker and wind begins to pick up, kind of pushing across. You can see the water pushing across the surface with the wind that begins to pick up behind. And Fume, you feel a lot less resistance as you're continuing to crank the turn the wheel, as suddenly
I imagine a rogue bolt of lightning hits Fume and he just starts cranking faster.
Don't slow down now, old man.
the
What did you do?
The ferry
Same thing we
basically
do every
comes-
week, Fume.
The ferry basically comes crashing into the dock. Luckily, because you rolled a full success, there's no damage or anything to it. I might have damaged it if you had rolled a missed or mixed success. or
Honestly,
something.
I will pay to fix it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it comes like thumps into the dock. Everybody kind of rushes over towards the ferry as the spirit is approaching, leaving only Salome, who has not done something yet. Unless you just want to do your assist and let somebody else.
I think she just turns to Glass and says, I feel like I haven't done much, so please help me look good in front of Grackle's friends. Can I shoot these things? I don't know.
Sorry, this the whole premise of this conversation is so funny to me. Thanks.
I don't want them to think that I'm a loser. Just make me look good here.
Take this. Hold it out. Hit the button. Lightning comes on. I'm gonna hand her my lightning hook.
Sweet.
Just hit the button, poke him with the end.
You got it. I will hit the button and point it at the spirit thing.
As you're all running onto the platform, and the folks on the other side begin to begin to turn the winch to pull you away. You see like a little bit of a gap forming as the spirit. Yes, Fume.
Could I have stayed on my side of the winch to propel people further?
You can, but you'll be left on this side of the river.
I have something for that.
Okay. If
If this motherfucker pulls out like a jetpack or something, I'm gonna be
alert me
pissed.
to when the ferry is halfway forward.
Got it. As Fume stays on this side, you see everyone's just assuming it's like, oh, he's making a noble sacrifice to make sure we get across. You like Tatty Boggle
from like the bear having to go, stay out of his way.
Tatty Boggle's like,
last time we left him, he blew up at the town square.
It's like, you got a bird friend there. As Fume back to the ghost continues to turn, you can see this thing kind of lumbers across like towards Fume as it is like it rapidly approaches, like going to crash on these things, fully like leaps forward in this like predatory pose, like it's going to crash on top of Fume. Salome, you in one, like taking the lightning rod from Glass, turn to defend Fume as it tries to attack him before you jump onto the platform. This will be a skirmish roll.
Okay.
You can.
What are my things here?
So it's gonna be desperate because you're using Glass's lightning hook. It'll be standard effect instead of limited.
Does the quality of the lightning hook affect it at all?
You can roll with the quality
It's a
instead.
fine lightning hook.
Oh, okay. So yes, I think the way that works, I think RJ is correct that you can either roll with your skirmish or you can roll with the quality of the.
Sorry, it's item level. You roll with the item level of the thing.
Yeah.
So is fine? Is that level 2, level 3?
Hold on,
I don't know.
Let me pull that up.
It's been a long time since I used this thing. Oh, and I've got my mask on. I forgot.
Mine isn't a descriptor. Is that something somebody made for you, or?
Nope, this is in the items that the Whisper always has. There's a fine lightning hook and a fine spirit
I don't know.
mask. They must mean something.
I think it's blah, 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 blah. Sorry, the thoughts got jumbled up. You roll with the item level if it had been crafted for you. If it's in your standard kit, then I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just part of this description, because it says this.
I think it's just a
custom-made-
description, because there's a lot of things that are described as
Fine. Yeah, I have my fine cover identity and that fine bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, because this says it's in the little italic section. It says this custom-made hook. Custom-made hook collapses into a compact form, reducing its load to 1, even though it's two-handed.
I think that's what it is. Fine will make it lighter.
There's a thing on fine weapons on page 24. Oh, okay. So Quality represents the effectiveness of tools and weapons resources, usually summarized by its tier. Fine items count as +1 bonus in quality, stacking with tier. Here's an
Oh.
example here. Crew's tier 1, she's fine lockpicks, she's especially tier 2. Circle at tier 3. Okay. So that determines when I'm comparing whether, like, if you, for example, in the book, if you had normal lockpicks and you were trying to lockpick a fine lock, you would have limited effect because the quality of the lock is better. Is
Better than the
worse.
picks. Got
How
it.
how fine this goes?
How fine this ghost, though? Is it a fine ghost? Is that a fan of 90s R&B?
So you are your crew is tier
Tree.
3. So this effectively makes you tier 4 when you're utilizing a fine implement. Let me look at what I had this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make us learn.
No, it's fine. These are just,
Even
these
more
are very...
rules.
Salome's gotta look good in front of Grackle's friends.
Yeah, I'm trying. Give me my sweet lightning hook that collapses.
Where's the thing on magnitude? So I think that's going to put you on equal footing with the spirit, because I have this as a powerful entity, which puts it at tier 4.
Okay.
So this will, so essentially standard effect.
Standard effect.
this
Okay.
will be it.
Okay. I'm gonna push myself to get an additional die.
Okay.
Could also take a die from my setup action.
Yeah, Grackle.
Yeah,
set
you
up.
can get a die
Oh.
from Grackle's setup, so you'll
Okay,
get
I'm gonna
that.
do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Because yeah, I think yes, was it an additional die or was it just an additional position effect? Hold on, now I have to remind
That's a
myself.
good question.
I'm trying to like control this storm, and at the same time, I'm like watching Salome out of the corner of my eye, like, put your weight on your back foot. You're gonna topple
So
forward.
no, setup does not give you an additional die. It gives you +1 to
Plus one
effect level,
effect.
or
Okay, so it is a greater effect now because it was
so that
standard.
would you can either take it as a greater effect level, or you can take this from a desperate to a risky action.
Why would I do that?
Why would you
Okay.
do that?
That's
be
the
able
XP,
to-
baby.
to be able to do it again if you fuck
Didn't
up.
be able to do it again. Nope.
Also,
You know
the
what?
consequences if you fail are worse.
Yeah.
What could the consequences be? You'll be
You got
fine.
this.
So we'll so you're going to bump it up to a great effect.
Yes.
Keep
You're
your
gonna
weight.
push yourself
Giant
in
con
order
Whisper.
to-
invisible.
I'm gonna push myself to bring it up to an additional die.
Okay.
Weight on your back foot. Don't lunge forward too far. You'll fall.
Got
Follow
it.
through.
Safety.
All the way with the muscles in your shoulders.
Shoulders. Okay.
Don't rely
It's
on your
like her
wrists. They'll
tits
break.
are out, like shoulders back, like.
Lift with your back, not with your knees.
Don't rely on just your wrists. They are infinitely breakable things.
Don't actually lift with your back.
This is plenty, thank you.
Follow through.
We've got a 6. Oh dear God, thank you.
Yay!
622. Dear God.
Yeah, talk about
Alright.
trial by fire. Salome.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, so here's what happens. It lunges towards Fume. Salome, you rush forward with the lightning hook. With that brief distraction of it having like focused on Grackle, worried that Grackle's about to lunge in and take one of these kills from it. You have enough of an opening here to kind of thrust out with the lightning hook. You don't feel impact, like there's no physical impact with the spirit, but you see the lightning energy surges through the form, and like a you know that like how a spider looks when it's like kind of starts twitching and like falling over on the ground and stuff. That's kind of what happened. Like it curls up on itself and begins to twitch and kind of convulse and thrash against the ground. This thing is by no means destroyed.
No, it's just
but
annoyed.
it's stunned for a moment. That allows everyone to get on. Like you jump backwards onto the platform while Fume begins to crank the winch to push the ferry across the river. You all make it.
Salome, like, hand shaking, like, uses her other hand to put down the hand that was shooting the hook and then just, like, hands it back to Glass. Thank you.
You are about 3/4 to about like halfway, or like halfway to 3/4 way across. Fume, you are frantically like spinning this winch to get the ferry moving, as you see the spirit behind you like regain its composure after the thrashing it just received, and begins to loom back up. Grackle, you are also still on this side of the river in a ghost. It's much less of an issue for you because you're just, you've got your ghost horse and can kind of zoom around. So either of you can do something, but Fume is still in danger at this point.
Almost a little too calmly, he walks behind a wall, pulls out a jetpack, and no, in a frenzy, Fume lets go of the winch and he starts sprinting down the pier to the end. The party on the ferry hears 2 loud gunshots. Fume activates his springly pistons and jumps the gap from pier to boat.
Sick.
Okay, is that an upgrade you took with
That
your,
is an upgrade I took in my whole form.
There's a cat.
I love it. I won't even have you roll for it because you just have the thing.
I was gonna kick someone with that on in Tangletown. I didn't get the chance to.
Now's your chance, buddy.
As you all like hear the sound of gunshots behind you, turn, fearing the worst for Fume. You don't see Fume on the dock as you turn and look. Just see like 2 of the you see the boards on the dock have like shattered and cracked inwards as you hear shouting from above you, and you watch as Fume kind of tumbling through the air. Because I don't like, have you done this before?
No, I don't have a parachute system.
There's no stabilizing here.
My only out is like to line launch something, but there's nothing to line launch to.
Yeah.
I have nothing
I'm just
to help
gonna
with
do
this, my friends.
We're just gonna call this a fortune roll to see if you land on the
boat or in the water.
Or in the water.
I really hope the water.
Honestly, the water might be the better option.
I really want the water.
You just gotta be so heavy.
We're gonna call this. I'm gonna roll with your tier. So we're gonna call this tier 3. So I'm gonna roll 3 dice.
Now imagine like 5 of these things coming at you in a sort of wet works attack. Like,
I'd rather not.
All right. Fortune for Fume.
Water.
Wait, I only rolled 2. Why did I only roll 2?
Oh.
Roll one more. Hold on. I'll roll one more.
Please.
I hope it's also a 2. It's a 1. It's a
Incredible.
1.
So that was 2 2s and a 1.
Wait,
You
so
leave the thing better than a 2.
I mean, a high fortune roll gives you what you want, right?
Right,
If
so-
he wanted to be in the water, he should land in the boat.
Are you gonna crash on
Right.
the raft?
Okay, so here's what happens. This I have to kind of hit you hard here.
If you land in the water, I'm
yeah.
fishing you out with the lightning hook, bud.
Hey, it's
So here's
fine. I
how
can walk along the
Fume
bottom.
soaring through the air, like
Fuck.
like some sort of very bad bird.
Salome,
so-
hold on to something.
Have you ever seen a rhinoceros beetle fly?
yeah, so that's.
I
Yeah.
thought you were just gonna ask if we'd ever seen a rhinoceros fly. Like, no, dude.
see-
where do you live?
Oh, well,
Reaches, like,
this is
the
about to be
apex of his jump, and then just kind of begins to spin through the air as he falls back down. And you see, like, coming towards the Taddy Boggle and the others, kind of like moving away from where he's about to land. And you see spin, and just barely misses the platform. Head smacks against the wood. It's just thump, and then splash as water kicks up. I'm gonna give you
Another clock titled Head Consequences.
So this is gonna be a harm. You can roll to resist if you want. It's gonna be a physical harm. I'm gonna call this a level 2 harm concussion.
Okay. What would I be rolling to resist?
This would be a prowess. Resist.
Prowess. Yeah, I got 4 in prowess.
All right.
That's a 5.
The 5. Okay, so you only take 1 drain or stress or whatever it's called for you. I
Yeah.
wear. So I don't remember what it's called for you. But yeah, you're able to your own like construction. Luckily, you don't have a brain in your head, and which to be
Right.
concussed.
But as Fume is getting fished out, I think like part of the like face has been scraped away, kind of. So it's
Uh-huh.
like the whole half face.
Yeah,
Terminator.
yeah. Um, comes out of the water looking full Naname, as you are rescued from the from. I don't know how buoyant Fume is.
He probably sunk to the
Yeah,
bottom.
but you feel like some of the hooks like wrapping around like underneath your shoulders and pulling you back up. They pull you back up onto the ferry.
She's like, well, I am never doing that again until I get a parachute or something.
uh Everyone there is kind of like in stunned silence. Tatty Boggle comes up to you and like squats down in front of you and says, "You a metal man, huh?"
He's like, oh, well, shit. Yes, I am.
Well, good job.
It was my honor, and also a very good opportunity to try and test that.
Good jump. Hit your head real hard.
He said
I think
less.
I think I need a nap. Is that? Fume will stand and start to begin to inspect himself for injuries. Like, oh no, I think I got rattled.
As Fume inspects, you continue to make your way across the river to the safety of the other side. The spirit does not seem to have the capacity to cross the water. Kind of like prowls around the side before it like begins to again in this unnatural form sprint across the shoreline to the south and away from you. Grackle, still on your horse, you watch as the spirit, now not having any prey, doesn't seem to even have the awareness to be pissed at you for anything, leaves you alone. You are currently alone on the other side of the river. Do you just continue to wait for them to cross and follow behind?
I think Grackle will go a little bit upstream and cross herself.
Okay.
And if anybody's watching, it's just the horse running straight across the water.
Yeah. Excellent. As everybody regroups on the other side, pretty much no worse for wear other than Fume's face.
You put a bandana on.
The goats are everyone kind of like decompressed for a second. They check out the surroundings, make sure there's no other signs of being attacked before loading up or rehitching the goats to the front of the wagon and venturing north. And we're going to go and take our break here. And we will come back in the last leg of your trip to the Lost District. So,
You think she saw the hook, right? She saw it, right?
Oh, definitely.
Was she looking?
Oh, of course.
Oh, don't worry, I have it all stored up here. I'll print it out later.
Thank you.
It was a good shot.
Thanks. Shooting arm still shaking, pulling into her side.
as you all regroup, the adrenaline wearing off, we'll go into our break here. So we will be back in a few minutes to continue our session, everyone. Go do break stuff as well. Get a snack, drink some water, whatever you need to do, and we will see everyone back here in a few minutes. Until then, stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out with us while we took our break. We are going to go ahead and jump back in to our game. So where we left off, you had successfully crossed the river, avoiding getting too badly injured or hung up with the spirit that was drawn to your presence. Slight concussion from Fume, and we are continuing north. So, it's been about a couple hours of travel at this point as you successfully ford the river, and continuing north. Like, you can see, again, you're going around the city, you can see night market in Six Towers as you journey up to the Lost District. You actually head under the lines for the railway, which heads like further out to Akros and to like the Imperial City and other reaches around the continent. Trains thundering overhead as you continue your journey. Again, like before, the kind of as the adrenaline wears off and the crew led by Tatty Boggle kind of gets back into navigating. They seem to be a little more watchful now that there's been one kind of very close encounter. Some of them keeping towards the back to make sure that nothing comes up behind you again. But luckily, there's no more there aren't any further issues with like needing to cross any more water sources. Everything is pretty like consistent travel for the next about other like 2.5-3 hours to the north. So you're getting almost like a full day of travel at this point. By the time you reach like the northern districts of Six Towers, or lateral to the northern district of Six Towers, and can begin to see the Lost District in the distance. Again, something that you've probably seen from the within the barrier before. Anytime you might have been up near Brightstone or Six Towers. There is just a section of the city, a lot like the docks or the old port that you were in before, but a much larger scale. A formerly very affluent area of Duskfall, kind of in the same vein as like White Crown and Brightstone, where the lords and the movers and shakers of Duskfall once called home. Now completely abandoned. You see the grand structures, manor houses, other imposing like governmental buildings that are kind of make up this district. Again, having fallen to the severe disrepair. There's one like central building kind of near the western edge of the district that looks like it was probably like at one point some sort of civic structure like City Hall or something. Has this brass like domed roof to it that has like rusted away in places, like tarnished, with large holes where the rust is like eaten straight through the metal, and collapse down into the building below, as well as the other manor houses. You can see parks and other, again, the things you see in Brightstone is like marks of wealth, the markers of wealth and affluence in the richer areas of Dustfall, having completely succumbed to the effects of the Deathlands. There's a dense fog, not quite on the same level as like the miasmas that roll through the Deathlands that you saw in the distance, but there's a dense fog that permeates the city to the point where you almost can't see the streets from the distance. You're still probably about like a quarter mile off at this point, but it is quiet. It is this sort of oppressive, like a very hostile looking, even at this distance, location. And as you get to about this point, Tatty Boggle and company halt to a stop, and your translator, Mermit, looks to the three of you with Grackle somewhere stalking around in the distance on our ghost horse, and says, all right, this is as far as we're going to be able to take you. So we're going to make camp here for the evening. It's about as close as we can get safely. You're welcome to stay here and journey in tomorrow. We'll stay here for about a day is how long we feel comfortable staying out this far. But it's really up to you at this point. Once you head in, we'll give you, about 5-6 hours. And if you're not back by then, we're just going to kind of assume that you kicked it. So anyway, make your plans. We will adjust accordingly, but this is as far as we can take you.
Thank you again.
No worries. You can see they begin to like set up a camp, and some of them, like about half of them, actually like pack up some bags and begin to like head off to other areas around here, scrapping and looking for anything like around the city without getting too close to it. But this is about as close as they will safely get. So it's really up to y'all what you want to do here. You can discuss amongst yourselves your approach at this point, but it is really your call, kind of how you want to tackle this.
I think we're making like a resting position for now to discuss. Fume has rolled up both of his pant legs and he is like fiddling with around like his calf area. There's a click. He pulls out what looks like a shotgun shell, tosses it over his shoulder, pulls another shotgun shell out, and just loads it into his calf and closes it again before he repeats the process with his other leg. So, camp here, or venture in and have some more time to look for what we need to look for. What's the plan?
No, I'd like to stay out here as little as possible.
I would say that the rest of you are more adept at this sort of thing than I am. Is it advisable to wait until it's technically daytime in order to venture forth, or are we in just as much peril either way?
Strikes me as a Grackle question.
Yeah, are we out of...
Y'all can venture off to be out of sight
Okay.
and earshot.
That being the case,
Whistle.
I think Grackle, like, appears from behind a building or something.
Fuck!
And she's just...
There you are.
Less time we spend out here, the better.
So go now.
I think Grackle, you would know too. It's just as haunted out here during day and night. It doesn't get any more or less haunted.
Yep. I ain't gonna get less haunted.
Fair enough. Let's soldier on then.
Alright. I'll tell the group that we're heading in.
Okay. You inform Taddy Boggle and company that you are going to continue on into the district. They wish you luck. I think Taddy like says, "All right, let you do what you think is best. Just in case." He like reaches down, yanks off like 2 of the spirit bane charge he has, and just like hands them over to you and says, "Hope your minerals back."
We'll get him back to you.
All right. He heads back to his crew.
I like him more every minute.
You know, out of all the people in Duskwall, I hope he's happy. I hope he finds his happiness. I'll hand a Spirit Bane charm to Salome and stow the other one on my persons. Oh. Do they affect Grackle in any way?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I will hold on to both of the Spirit Bane charms and send Salome in to tell Glass that, hey, we were given 2 Spirit Bane charms.
I was trying to remember what the I think it's in the Ghost playbook. It tells you.
What Spirit Bane charms do? You know what? Let me look at it. Actually.
It's you are affected by Spirit Pain charms and the compel ability of the Whisper.
Yes.
Let me see, because it may be other equipment.
To overcome the repulsion. Now the question lies, when am I repulsed by a Spirit Bane charm? If I like touch it, or if it's brandished against me like a vampire.
Does the geometry screw with your brain? 'Cause it's
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I don't think it's like a large proximity. It's not like, oh, I can't get within 30 feet of someone with a Spirit Bane charm. But I think like you find yourself repulsed from getting within, like you cannot touch or interact with anyone who is carrying one without having to roll to resist that. Like you feel that like you could push through to try to overpower the effect, but
I see. So it's not like a cross being used to like banish me. It's like garlic being used to keep me away.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to explain everything to me in vampire terms.
Yes.
I don't
No, that
understand
is-
otherwise.
So
That is
is there a way to suppress the Spirit Bane charms until they're needed, or are they just constantly active?
I don't think there's any way to turn them on or off. It is just a charm that is in effect as long as you are carrying it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Not carrying one.
Why do you need me to touch you so bad?
Well, sometimes
Uh,
for 2 different reasons. Salome has something on her mind, but for me, rescue purposes.
Why are
you
so
do not
obsessed
say
with
that out loud.
I do not. That was
Okay.
a
You're about to
bit.
find yourself back in the river.
Just punts you all the way back to the river.
Yup.
What?
100%.
I was doing the bit.
I was doing a bit.
Confused as to where that random light was coming from. I got it.
Right. Oh, by the by, Glass, can I pick your brain about something?
Of course.
He pulls out an ice pick, and begins spinning it
It's-
between his fingers.
It's never funny.
He'll put the ice pick away.
It's not funny.
We're walking and talking. Back in Dis, do you know those rooms that were blank spots for you?
Meaning, do I remember which ones?
Correct.
Sure.
Do you know if those rooms had a function or not?
Do I know?
So you
I imagine so. It's
remember-
been a while since Van was there.
Yeah, so you remember it wasn't just Dis. It was like half of Night
It's like most of
Market.
Night Market, right?
Most of
Mhm.
Night Market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for one, it wasn't just this. It was, frankly, most of Night Market, the entire district. So, functionally speaking, quite a few things.
Well, now that I know it's most of Night Market, now I'm wondering why the Baron wants to completely obliterate spirits within that smaller quadrant.
Perhaps it's a test run of something. I can imagine he'd want to be the only one with control over spirits in his vicinity, so why not start on part of the city and see where that takes you?
Could also be used for rapid expansion out here.
True.
We're going to have to do some digging when we get back.
This about the Baron getting rid of spirits?
Yes, the lightning barrier that's currently encircling the city, the same technology, found it in the Baron's facilities.
That's
Except they were tuned to 11, more or less.
So what would that do?
Well, you see you as you are now. If you were to come in contact with the effects of what the Baron has in Night Market, you would not be here anymore. As in, poof.
It's possible he has
So-
some eradication device or something similar.
A spirit nuclear option, as it were. I don't even know what that means.
So
A
is
what?
it
What?
just another barrier, or
No. Not
Is it-
just a barrier.
It,
Full
does
on.
the spot itself, is it like a black hole of some kind, or does it only negate the spirits when it initially goes off?
That, I believe, we would have to do some experimentation to determine.
Well, I could. If I think about it hard enough, I might be able to.
I have a couple of ideas.
Me too. I think.
as far as
Sorry.
I'm concerned, you only make a ghost killing machine if you expect to have to kill a lot of ghosts.
Which, in theory, would be normal for someone with a lot of money and power living in Duskwall. We do have a
Right.
literal wall around our city of electricity that keeps ghosts out. Or tries to.
Right. But if you need to kill that many ghosts at once, you probably killed a lot of people at once too.
Not to mention,
Not wrong there.
yes, you're very rich and you live in a city with a gigantic electromagnetic field all the way around it. Are you expecting said field to fail? And so you need a plan B?
I mean, there's always the potential of, machinery failure. It wouldn't be odd for the Baron to have some sort of safety or backup, I suppose.
And so he tested it in the middle of one of the most populous areas of the city.
Go big or go home. Especially if you're working on a short time limit.
Oh no. That could be a possibility, couldn't it?
Well, what's the short time limit then?
Wings, you said something, but I don't think your mic picked it up.
Oh, either way, I don't like the implications.
Yeah. One of the things the Baron could do is potentially drop the ghost field and then keep all of Night Market safe as the spirits ravage all the rest of Duskwall. That's going to be fun.
Could try to get in and see for ourselves what he's working with.
Yeah, I think that'd be most prudent. That seems like a later Obedient 7 problem, though.
First things first, yes.
There are some implications here.
I don't like it either way.
No!
It's got bad. It's got bad written all over it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This feels like a problem. But yes, that seems like a when we get home problem. We should focus on not dying out here in the Deathlands.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I very much do not want my spirit catapulted into a horrible lightning storm or whatever's happening out here.
No.
No offense, Grackle.
None taken. I imagine Grackle like I'm gonna imagine ghosts when they get hurt, they don't like show it the same way that living people do. So like rather than having like a cut or something on her head, I think it's like cracked like porcelain, and every now and then like a little spark of electricity comes out of it.
Oh no!
You're, bleeding?
It's nothing. Just got winged a little bit. It's all.
I see.
How do we heal that?
I'm working on it.
I imagine over time it may naturally repair itself, but
I need to rub a duck someone.
Not again.
you've got to stop calling it that. It sounds like a sex
Got a
thing.
rubber what?
Rubber grackle? No. I need to talk someone through my thought process in which I might have an idea that might help.
Go, just go,
Just
and
talk.
stop saying the duck thing.
Just
Just go.
As they're walking into the city and going to their destination, Fume is theorizing more or less making a liquid, like a plasma or something, kind of like an energy juice box for vampires.
Oh, bless him.
I thought you were gonna go like electroplasm liquid bandage or something.
No, well,
Liquid bandage is. Fun
so
fact,
if I made it
liquid
into a...
bandage It's just super glue.
Yeah. So if I made it semi-soluble, I could probably apply it onto... Or if I make it a beverage, you could ingest it and then just have your natural...
How's she going to ingest a beverage? She's a ghost.
Ghost beverage.
That's the thing, you just know how to make a ghost beverage.
I'll figure it out.
Right, okay.
Grackle's going back on Overwatch.
I always figure it out.
She's gonna
So-
float
Yes,
up.
but sometimes you
into
blow
the,
up an entire square.
She's gonna float up into the roof line and like perambulate like a ninja turtle. Like she
Yeah.
just like stays.
Ambulate.
Like a ninja.
I was about to
turtle.
say, if we're getting in here, maybe we should go quietly. Like, we are trying to find people, but we probably don't want everyone else to find us first.
Yes.
Just
Mum's the word.
quietly bickering in the back.
Yeah, y'all want to do
What are you
a
talking about? A
let's
ghost beverage?
let's
What even is
do
that?
if y'all are trying to avoid attention from anything that might be in here. Let's
Collective prowl.
let's do
A prowl.
I have my thing, I have my expertise where I can lead the group thing for Prowl specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only take one stress even if all of you fail. So
Oh, that's sick.
And
Yeah, let's do
remember,
it.
if any of us roll sixes, it's a critical.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we're such a cool team.
So
We're back,
go ahead
baby.
and roll. And just let me know if one of you fails and then I'll take a stress and that's it.
I have 5.
There's my Prowl. I got 3.
6.
Yeah!
Yay!
I only got a 5.
I too only got a 5.
It's okay.
Okay,
I
but we got
to
a
six.
6.
1-6.
1
Still
6
full
and
success.
no failures.
No
I-
failures.
And no
I believe.
failures.
Okay.
We're learning.
Excellent.
They're learning.
We're good at this.
And,
All
it,
prowlers.
and suddenly
real
it
prowlers.
clicks.
Yeah, I mean this is one thing that your group is very well practiced at.
Sneaky.
Is sneaking into places or avoiding attention whenever possible.
Fume and Glass are arguing in Duskfall sign language.
Salome just comes over and smacks both your hands.
So Grackle is ghost horsing up atop the
Oh,
building.
I'm not gonna be so silly as to ride my horse on the rooftops.
I don't know.
Why not? I want to see you and Buttercup just go vertically up a wall and then across the rooftops.
We're doing
Skyrim.
the Batman, doing the Batman pose. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that loud?
You got
Oh
like
yeah, you
so
did get a
loud.
little bit loud. Yeah.
Well, now she's gone.
Like sometimes I can still hear
2,
her.
3.
There you are.
There it is.
Okay,
That's better.
that's so weird. That is literally one notch.
Okay, so keeping it much more grounded in reality, not riding your horse up on the roofs. Instead,
What? It happens in The Witcher 3 all the time.
Skyrim
Yeah.
2, yeah.
Skyrim, Dragon Age Inquisition.
That one Christmas song.
You just get your horse up on buildings. It's okay. You can do it.
luckily for you, Grackle, you have the least necessity of needing to necessarily hide. Like you
Fit
blend
right in.
Yeah, these are your people that are here.
These are your
um,
people.
You but you do know that your companions are in a fair bit of danger, given that living or otherwise their forms, even Fume, these creatures are drawn to the facsimile or the essence of life. So you keep an eye out. As you enter the district, again, that very dense fog fills the streets. You're only able to see probably about 10 feet, 15 feet in front of you at a time, which both helps to, you assume, mask your movements through the city, but also provides the anticipation of or the anxiety of potentially stumbling across someone or something at any moment. You do your best to move quietly along these cobblestones. Who's taking the lead on this? I know Grackle is kind of scouting and doing stuff, but in the main group.
This is so far out of my purview.
I feel like it should probably be Glass,
will
but
do
Salome's gonna be real close to. I don't know how much good Salome's talking will be with a hive mind spirit entity necessarily, but
Yes.
we'll be close behind Glass.
I'll take.
If you can convince one, you can convince all of them.
I also have ghost voice and something else too.
What's your ghost voice?
Occultist. Ghost voice lets me interact with ghosts or demons as if they were normal humans, regardless of how feral they are. I forgot I had that earlier.
Yeah.
And I gain potency when... This is the one I always ask you what potency means, because I never remember.
Yeah.
And then I also have occultist, which is knowing the secret ways to consort with ancient powers, forgotten gods, or demons. And once I've consorted with one, I get an extra die to command cultists to worship it.
Got it. Okay.
So if this is any of those things, I'm ready.
So as Glass leads you forward, quietly and cautiously, skulking through the streets here, the cobblestones themselves are disjointed and broken in many places from just the natural shifting of the terrain. A lot of the buildings here are still intact to where you can like recognize like doors and windows and things. All the glass is broken out of all of the windows, doors rotted off their hinges, but these stone structures still remain. In this dense fog, as you fully enter the district, Glass, you begin to notice, and luckily with your y'all's group stealth being so good, you avoid stepping upon the many corpses, the bones that litter the streets here. You recognize skeletal remains, clothing, anything that wasn't like metal or like the hardiest of leathers has long since rotted and degraded to the point of vanishing. But you can recognize that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of bodies, skeletons that littering the streets, leaning up against buildings. It appears with many of them, given that they have been preserved for this period of time, with just people not entering this district or disturbing their rest, you can see the signs of like a panic that washed through these streets shortly before these people died. The signs of people trying to escape through windows or down alleyways or down the streets. Most of them like fallen or facing towards the west where Duskfall is, as if they were fleeing towards the main city. But those corpses are, as I said, they're skeletons, unrecognizable as people otherwise. With your stealth though, you avoid stepping on anything, making any noise, clattering anything across the ground by kicking it accidentally, even through this dense fog. Grackle, as well as actually, I think Grackle, you notice it first. As you get about probably like 2 or 3 blocks in to this district, heading up this main, like you came in through like an alleyway and then cut onto a main road. Grackle, you begin to see shapes of forms moving through the mist that are corporeal.
Corporeal.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get closer and try and get their vibe?
Yeah. You approach, getting closer. I think you also notice something else, like as you're moving through it, as it maybe dawns on you, Sid. You don't really sense many other spirits nearby. And Glass, you pick up on this too. There is like the ghost field is very powerful here. You can sense that energy, but it's like fully formed spirits. The ones that you do pick up on or can sense seem to be moving towards the edges of this district, as if they too are fearful of entering. Grackle, as you approach these forms, a few blocks in, your companions are probably about 100 yards away from running into this themselves. You see there's like a small like common square here at an intersection of a few roads, and standing perfectly still, you see a human man, just blank face, eyes dull, living but catatonic, just standing, facing west. And then as the fog kind of rolls a bit, you see other shapes. You see 3, 5, 10, 20, as you see dozens of people, of men, women, children, all standing perfectly still, all facing west. In no really there's no arrangement to them, like some on street corners, some at the stoops of buildings, some of them are inside buildings facing out of windows. There's no really rhyme or reason to their spacing either. Some are standing right next to each other, others are 30, 40 feet apart, but all standing perfectly still. And you notice as well that many people, some appear reasonably healthy, others appear gaunt and starved, others are barely at the you'd see at the very end of starvation, to where you can see their bodies shaking just to hold themselves up. There are also many bodies that are lying on the ground, having recently collapsed, presumably dead, but not having rotted away. Probably been here more recently. And you gather, as you're looking at this, and you see the skeletons that you had seen on the way moving in. Some of those may be ancient from the death and the calamity that befell here. Some of them may have been, like these people, hollows that simply withered away and died.
What's to the west?
Duskfall.
Sorry, what?
Duskfall.
Duskfall
They're all
is
facing
to the
the
west.
city.
Okay.
I mean, when you got nothing else to do, you just wait.
Does this mean we could sneak past all of them if we just keep progressively going east?
Just go behind him.
Yeah.
Presumably. You so from the way you're approaching, your companions are probably about, like I said, a couple 100 feet away from running into these hollows themselves.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I kind of want. Can I like hop down and sort of like carefully approach like a few of them, like see if they react to me at all?
Yes, you may. You sort of levitate down from the roof, alighting on the cobblestone streets, sparking in the mist. Your ghostly form approaches. You don't see any signs of like movement or recognition, like eyes straightforward, don't even dart or blink upon your approach. However, as you get within a few feet of one, we'll see that first man that you saw that was kind of like on the edge here. You see through the mists to the east. You watch as because I'm assuming, again, you don't have the ability for this, but I'm going to make the assumption that ghosts can see into the ghost field. The something begins to move out from the mists there. A tendril of spectral form and shadow snakes across the cobblestone, sort of wrapping around a dried up fountain before finally touching the back of this man and sort of connecting in that moment, as if it sort of enters through the back of his head, possessing him. You see the body sort of moves just slightly, and the eyes turn towards you. And you hear a raspy, dry voice echoing from a throat that has not spoken for weeks or months, as whatever entity has possessed this man speaks to you and says, "Spirit, this place is not yours. Leave."
I think Grackle kind of looks behind her, like looking for the spirit, and then remembers, oh yeah, that's right, I'm the spirit. She just sort of turns around, scratches the back of her head. Y'all who I think you are?
What is it you think we are?
Guys, remind me what it's called.
Oh no, it's called the, shit.
The collective, the horde.
So the horde is the name of like the group.
There we go.
I think I gave you a term that had been used. I don't remember if I gave this to you.
If you
The
did, I have no memory of it.
Yeah, the entity you probably should have. I should have given it to you in your research if I did not, because y'all did research this thing to hell. The entity that is referred to as like this collection of hollows is referred to as the horde. The theory of the people that like have written about this, the things that you wrote, is like people have noticed these behaviors and had reported to something strange, maybe possibly commanding or controlling or influencing these hollows, was referred to as the voice.
There we go. Okay,
That
yeah,
sounds
you did
familiar.
tell us that.
Okay.
All right. So it says, "What do you think I am?" Grackle responds, "I reckon you're the thing that's in charge of all these hollows. What they call you, the voice?"
That is a moniker we have used, yes. So you know of us.
Heard
Then
of you.
why are you here?
I reckon we got something in common.
And what is that?
I think you might be the only thing in this world that hates the Baron as much as I do.
I hate a good many things. I hate all of the living. But this one of which you speak, currently I do hate most of all. You wish to entreat with us for some common purpose.
Grackle nods.
Grackle. I'm going to call for a roll here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You're doing
What a
amazing.
good idea for me to try and do this alone.
You're doing amazing.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
I think
Oh,
sway
thanks.
works for this one.
Sway, you say?
We can help from a distance. Any distance.
We sure can.
I would like that.
I shall help you.
So what's the I'm curious, so do y'all feel that you like get a sense with this ritual that you have all taken part of to connect your minds? Do you think that the three of you are aware that Grackle has made contact?
Do we get a
with this?
ping every time Grackle tries to have a conversation?
Yeah, and we're like, oh no, oh jeez,
There's
oh
a
gosh.
notification goes out.
Like monitoring Grackle's
Grackle's trying to
phone.
talk. Oh fuck, shit.
It is only that Grackle is trying to talk, not to whom. So we
basically
start
this is-
sprinting down.
Everybody
the
shut up, she's talking.
You see Grackle on Teams is in a call.
Like, oh no, was this scheduled? Shit.
Crap, who's on Grackle duty?
Oh no.
I hate unscheduled teams. That's some bullshit. Should be illegal.
Oh, and she's already presenting. Fuck.
yeah, so y'all
She's
so y'all
sharing her
just
screen.
spend-
Guys, she's sharing her screen.
Guys,
Shit.
she's sharing her screen.
Fume is holding a hand out. It's the wrong slides.
So this is the equivalent of y'all sending some memes to Grackle to try to.
Oh my god.
Amp her up. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You can.
Sorry,
one
the
you
idea of
can
a bunch of
spend-
memes just like appearing in Grackle's mind's eye. What meme
There's
does everyone
one-
send Grackle?
With a physical force.
Yeah.
like,
So one of you can spend a
pop-ups.
stress to assist Grackle.
Oh, it's just one. Okay. I shall. I have done so.
1 to assist, 2 to push yourself.
Yes.
Got it.
To answer Van, it is a meme of a man in full costume sitting backwards on a chair. And the top line says "so," comma. And we'll fill in whatever
So,
is
comma,
the
bottom text.
So Grackle, we are going to call this desperate,
Mm.
and we're going to call this. I'll say standard. Be nice.
Okay.
Come on,
You got
girly.
this, babe.
So you were muted in teams.
Desperate and standard. I'm gonna take that extra dice I'm getting from the assistants for a total of 1 dice.
You got
Cross
this.
your fingers.
Come on,
folks.
girly!
It's
Oh,
gonna
come
be,
on,
It's gonna
girly!
be great. She's
Or I
doing
could
it.
push myself for a second dice and just explode on contact. I could do that.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Don't do
Don't
it.
explode.
Well, you'd have to. So it's an interesting situation because you'd have to spend 2. You only
Oh,
have
you're
1
right.
left.
I don't
know
think
if
I
you
can.
Yeah, it's an interesting dilemma. I don't think we've encountered this before, where by spending the 2, you would push yourself over into another. Like, are you able to spend more than you have access to currently?
I mean, that's how you get a trauma.
Hmm.
No, wait, you're a ghost. It's different.
Yeah, you get
I-
gloom.
You get.
I
gloom.
couldn't. You can only tag your glooms and traumas for bad things, right?
Yes, yeah. You could use invoke your trauma or gloom for some sort of negative consequence.
In order to get extra experience.
Yes.
Okay, that's that mechanic. What about a devil's bargain?
Yes. What's
Uh-huh.
the bargain? Or you want me to go up with
That-
something?
Oh,
Sorry,
shit, I
thought-
have to- I have to do this.
I have an idea. Here, you finish it.
Yeah, sorry.
I
thought
love to do
you
that.
were.
Well,
You
I
said
do
that with
have an
such
idea.
confidence that I thought you had an idea you were presenting, and now you were saying,
I
hey,
have an idea. Val.
I mean, I do. It's the same idea that I just said, which is get an extra dice and explode on contact.
You can do this, but you explode.
Okay. Let me think. Devil's bargain.
I love this.
Hmm. I have something in mind, but it was more of a consequence for failure. It doesn't feel fair for me to give that to you as the bargain.
Well, if you have something in mind for failure, maybe I just go ahead and let the dice fall where they may.
I can't, unless anybody else has an idea. I can't think of anything in this moment.
I'm fairly limited in what I can do right now on account of the fact that I am sitting on the precipice of drain.
Yeah.
Which,
Also,
maybe we just
I realize your injury. Do you have the thing still where you can ignore
where I
one-
get a reduced dice.
You're
Oh.
subtracting 1 die from this anyway.
No.
Oh my god.
So that'd be a roll 2 and take the lower, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it would.
no.
You're basically negating the help I get from Salome.
So there's almost unless we come up with the devil's bargain, there's no point of doing the assist because you're at 0 or you're at 0. So
Okay.
because you can't have a negative die. I guess
Yeah.
thankfully.
Well, that just means you don't roll, right?
No, you always could roll. There's always a chance.
Roll 3 dice and take the lowest of the 3.
That would be
Super disadvantage.
It's like, what's the opposite of a critical?
A fumble.
A fumble. It's just a fumble.
Here's what I'll say. I will give you a devil's bar. You can take an additional die to bring yourself up to 1 die.
Okay.
This entity is going to learn something. It is going to learn about your relationship with the Baron.
Oh. Mm.
Puts a tadpole on
Okay.
your head, gives you brain powers.
Oh, I see. I don't fuck with that.
You didn't say it was Netherese magic.
I don't know, they could be cool. Listen,
Okay,
even
if she's taken the devil's bargain and gives her the 1 dice, am I then able to also help, or you can only do one?
No. So the
Can only do
devil's
one.
bar. So you're already assisting.
Okay, got it. And then the devil's bargain is what actually brings it up to.
So she needs
To
essentially
one.
2 dice to get up to 1 because
Got
of
it.
her injury.
Got it. Okay.
Gotta do something about that.
Yeah.
All right. I fuck it. I'm gonna do it.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they're cool. Maybe they know that every once in a while a lady's got to grow up and kill her dad.
Hey, the enemy, my enemy. Girl!
Hey! Woo! 1 in 6, baby.
Say it with
Yes!
me. Every girl's got to one day grow
Every
up.
girl's
and
gotta
kill
grow up
her
and kill her
dad.
dad!
Kill your dad!
Kill your dad!
I like my dad.
You're not a girl, it's okay.
Well, we'll
You're not a
trade.
girl.
I'll kill
it's-
your
You
dad.
don't understand.
I'll
Yeah.
kill my dad.
Okay.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Dad.
Dad.
Oh.
No offense, RJ, but I'm pretty sure my dad could beat your ass. No offense.
Okay, well, you can
He's a
kill
strong
my
man.
dad. How's that? You can kick my dad's ass. That's easy.
So
You've never seen me in a fight. I'll just put it that way.
Grackle,
Hello.
you
Don't forget your desperate XP. Sorry.
yes.
Got so excited about the 6.
Take your XP for that.
It's really good actually. That's the points I needed in.
As you finish speaking, there's a moment of pause. You see this hollow in front of you. It's considering for a moment. Then you watch as the eyes go dull again. Suddenly, the tendril that was connecting to the back of through which the voice was possessing him with, snakes out like a cobra, strikes at you, like connecting with you. And you watch, like in your mind's eye, it suddenly is like pulling information from you, and you find yourself reliving those moments, and you can see flashes of your memories of your father when you entered Dustfall for the first time, growing up with him. You see him as a younger man. You see the trauma that led through the eventual murder of the Kraft family. You see your brief interactions with them since then, all flashing one after the other after the other. And you feel this hatred. At first you think it's your own, that like heightened sense of emotion that you have felt since becoming a spirit, that it seems to bubble up within you. But you realize it's not just your own. It is this thing, this voice is also, you're connecting with it in a way where you're feeling its animosity and hatred, this overwhelming sense of loathing that seems to permeate every fraction of its essence. And you feel for a brief moment as if this thing's intent was not to see this, to learn this, but rather to take you. But as the last few memories play out, these flashes, and you feel for a moment that dread of like some sort of large, essentially a very small fish about to be devoured by something very like impossibly large and powerful, it releases you. And there's a moment of pause before it slowly snakes back, connecting with the hollow in front of you. And the voice speaks again, says, "Continue up the path. The manor house at the end of the row. That is where you will find me. And where we will speak." And it disconnects, snaking back quickly into the mist and disappearing.
Okay.
I'm not going alone.
I think at this moment is when Glass leading the group, you kind of through the mist begin to see some darkened shapes in front of you and see a bit of like crackling, like glowing essences. You can see Grackle first through the mist, kind of blinding you for a moment, like high beams and fog. And as your eyes adjust, you see Grackle's ghost form hovering there, in addition to the dozens of hollows standing just beyond her.
What the
Just kind
shit?
of raise an eyebrow.
There are people here.
I look at Grackle and just like raised eyebrow, like, we good? Everything we good? Everything good up here?
I feel like Grackle's just got her back turned to you. And like she hears you guys approach, and flinches a little. And by the time she turns around, like she's got that stoic face back on.
You all right?
I met the thing.
Okay.
And
It just sort of points at her head. Took. Well, I guess it's still there. It sort of went rifling around in my noggin.
In what way?
I don't know. It looked at some stuff.
what stuff?
Like memories?
Yeah.
Well, you're still standing, at least metaphorically, so that's good.
Was it upset?
It said it hates humanity.
Well,
Can't entirely blame it, to be honest. Anything else?
Hates the Baron most of all. So I think we got something to work with.
the enemy of my enemy and all that.
So it didn't say, leave now before I eat you or anything.
Oh, it definitely said that, but after it looked in my head, I think it changed its mind. She points up at the building. Wants to talk in there.
Talk is good. Yes, I like this. Back on firm ground. Yes, Salome. All right. Sorry. Just feel like I can do something now.
You're doing plenty.
Lead the way, Ms. Ambassador?
Once again, Grackle looks behind her. And then,
Does
like,
Grackle look at me?
Yeah, I guess she looks behind her, then looks at Glass.
She means you.
Grackle looks a little annoyed. Like, God damn it.
I thought with the spirits and you are one currently, and it is sort of a spiritual, yet just ambassadorship seemed to work. I don't know.
I'll walk with you.
We all walk with you. I'm not getting more than a step behind with all of this going on.
Fume turns to Glass. Can talk now.
Well, yes, just not loudly.
We've got your back, Grackle.
Shh! I'm just shitting with you now. I'm sorry. I had to.
That was good.
Breaking the tension.
That was good. That was a good one.
I was half tempted to pull out a firearm and just start firing in the air.
All right. Okay,
not tempt me.
Perhaps japes and jokes are not appropriate at the moment. Sorry.
I will find a way to yank your soul out of your body and put it in one of my bottles.
You press right here.
Go.
No self-preservation on this one at all.
The four of you follow the directions and continue up the road.
A thing we've never done before.
Yeah, right. There's a first time.
We
for
follow instructions
everything.
for like a second.
You continue up the road past the gathering hollows that do not respond to your presence. They continue to vacantly stare off into the distance.
Do
Yes.
any of these hollows have like an exposed soul gem?
Some do.
Some do. Okay. I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure, like, if they have a gem or not.
Yeah, some have gems, others don't. You see some that have gems that like they look like they've been removed. It strikes you as some of them seem to, again, that the gemstones were removed, and you think some of these may have been people who fell to the propaganda of the Church of Ecstasy, who eventually found their way here. Others have gems that appear to be broken, or gems that are simply empty. There's probably many stories of how many people came here, but none seem amenable to speaking. You move past them and find more and more and more along your route here, until at the end of this row, there is a rather impressive standing manor house that may have once belonged to one of the most prominent people of Duskfall, probably akin to the house of like Lord Strangeford or one of the other members of the council, that has clearly fallen into disrepair. But the gates stand open. There are dozens, if not hundreds, more hollows standing outside the gates, quietly standing in vigil, guarding whatever lies within. They all seem to have moved out of the way as you enter this through this crowd up the path to the front of this manor house, forming a narrow corridor of bodies, which you press through. As you reach the doors of the house, one has seemingly long since rotted away, while the other still stands slightly ajar. And you see carved into this very sturdy, slightly rotted wood, that has, through its proper craftsmanship, withstood the test of time. There is a crest carved into this wood of a presumably noble house that no longer exists. I think you remember from your research that there were many noble houses, important figures that lived within this district that were lost when it fell. In fact, many of the prominent figures of Dustfall only rose to their stations of power, filling vacuums that these families once held. Inside or within the manor, though it is degraded and ruined in many ways, there is light coming from within, and you see sconces burning with candles, illuminating sections of the house. The foyer is lit. The drapes and rugs and refinement of this palatial estate having long eroded away, but still maintaining that shadow of what it once was. There are hollows standing at attention within the walls. These, however, Glass and Grackle at least can see seem to be connected through those same tendrils you've seen before. They don't move and they don't regard you as you enter. They simply stand expecting you to proceed within. But there are more in here that seem to be like in tune, connected with the voice. As you walk through this entry hall, the stairs to an upper level have eroded, rotted, and collapsed in on themselves. But the hall leading down, leading ahead of you, is well lit through these candles. And as you proceed down it, you begin to hear music. Like a old kind of warbling melody.
I was about to say, it better be like a fucking phonograph, because if this dude has like his puppets playing fucking instruments right now, no.
Does Fume recognize the song?
Not.
Oh.
Is it like...
Maybe you recognize the song, but this was an old song when you heard it.
Miss Over the Lake or whatever?
Yeah.
American Pie.
No, it's worse. It's like the Bugle Boy of Company B or some shit. Like
Bugle Boy Company B.
Yeah, it's sort of an orchestral score that seems to be, again...
He's just playing Christmas music.
Mariah Carey's Breach Containment.
Philip Sousa March or something.
Or that one Beyonce song that every clothing store is always playing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But yes, it appears to be some music coming through like a phonograph or something of that nature. You reach the end of this hall, and it opens up into a large like banquet hall.
Oh no.
There is a long table flanked with a dozen chairs on each side. A fireplace at the back of the hall, silhouetting the chair for the lord of the estate, where one such would sit. Again, the tapestries that adorn the walls here have fallen away, eaten through by moths and decay. And sitting in the chairs, you see very degraded looking, like old human forms. There are 6 on each side with again moth-eaten, very outdated looking clothing, like you think like Renaissance era like attire. They also have these like tendrils connected to them.
But they're alive?
They are alive.
Just really afraid at any moment we're gonna turn around and the door's gonna be gone and we're gonna be in the darkest house again.
Damn it, Val!
You walk into a living room.
No.
Why do I have this bottle in my hand that suddenly says drink me?
Don't
not
drink it!
Drink it.
Okay.
I could boot up the darkest house at any point, and y'all could just be.
And that's what scares
That
me.
would be
That's the
so
scariest
weird.
part. You could do it for any game at any time.
Works.
Also, Darkest Forest just came out, and I just
Oh,
just got it, and
no.
I'm gonna add it to.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna add it to the OneDrive
I
because
gib.
now, yeah.
You yes, you see these 12 figures sitting on either side of the table. They appear to be
alive might not be the best term, but not rotted away. These are not corpses. In fact, I think Glass, you just have an innate sense of this as you're looking at them. These 6 are possessed by this voice, this entity, but they're not necessarily hollows or possessed figures. In fact, they appear to have been possessed for so long that essentially they have become vampires.
Gasp.
I was afraid of that.
Vampires of the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I think just very, very quietly under their breath, I think Glass just says, vampires.
I'm sorry, what?
They're vampires.
I thought this thing didn't like other spirits.
Well, technically they're not spirits now, are they? They're corporeal.
But wait, again, Glass, you guess, like, I think just innate understanding of these are 12 vampires that
Just
are
of the
essentially
same-
one vampire.
Yeah. They're not separate spirits.
They're one.
And in fact,
They're
all
the
12
voice.
of them at the same time.
God damn it! No! I knew it was coming. Damn it! Damn
Oh
it!
yeah.
And all speaking in unison address you, stating, welcome.
Well, it's nice to put the faces to the voice.
And Glass, you also get another sense here too. Again, these tendrils connecting them are emanating from somewhere, but it is not these 6. Like, these 6 are not creating the tendrils that are possessing things. They are simply another vessel that has been possessed by
Still coming
this
from somewhere
voice.
else.
Ooh.
And you feel that underneath you, somewhere buried under the manor, is something very powerful that is controlling all of this.
Well, we're here.
Please sit.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You sit at the table.
I still
There
think this is
are-
not the weirdest dinner party that Glass has been to.
The most uncomfortable dinner party
Perhaps.
Fume's ever been to.
Well, y'all did wish last time for a dinner scene, so
Yeah.
Hello,
Yay!
y'all.
We did. We did want that. We did. We did.
you see laid out on the table is the cutlery and the like chalices and everything, like of what would have been a table set for a Lord's dinner that has not been disturbed in any way. Everything has been like, there's a thick layer of dust covering everything, tarnish across the plates, and the silverware. Nothing having been moved from this place but the ghostly remains of a dinner long past. There is I think at the center of the table, there's like in 3 spaces, like middle of the table and then one on each end, is like a very cloudy looking bottle of probably wine, still corked, again covered in a very thick layer of dust.
Oh, that's just vinegar now. I'm sorry. I don't care how good the bottle of wine was. At some point, that shit's just vinegar.
Put that on a steak, you're good.
The 12 vampires, again, their attention turned, all their heads turned down the table towards the 4 of you. As you said, Grackle, do you sit? Do you pretend to sit as a ghost, or do you?
No. I'm
Could
not
you
even gonna
stand-
try.
Stand in the seat.
I would not, I would be standing behind Salome regardless.
Okay.
That's Grackle's prerogative.
The voices in unison speak again and say, "Once we would not have permitted the living to enter this place. We feel as though there may be a road that we may travel together to accomplish a mutual task. However, should you displease or insult our position, you will not be permitted to leave."
I think we can all agree to those terms.
Nothing I like more than dinner and civil conversation.
With that understanding, why do you approach us?
Well, again, thank you for seeing us. When last we spoke with yourself and or one of your agents, you mentioned that you would need to understand or feel that we have an equal or at least comparable animosity toward that creature, the Baron. Our friend here, glancing back at Grackle, I believe can show you something that may hopefully be some manner of proof of what we say.
All right. Before we respond, we're going to go ahead and introduce the clock that will be at the center of this conversation.
Oh boy.
Oh, lovely.
So, similar to most of our jobs, there will be a clock that you must fill in order to win the horde to your side. There will also be a clock through which failure may turn this in a very different direction. Let's see. It's not letting me. So, 2 clocks.
Oh, goodness.
What was that?
Who was that?
That was so that I wasn't sure if it was mine again. Is it? It's not mine. It's someone else's.
Not
Okay.
mine.
Yeah, I just heard a.
That's Frankie. He
Oh.
Frankie, we haven't heard you in so long.
Salome, I think you'll be our first check for this.
Okay.
Boy.
A sway, perhaps? Maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I think that'll
Okay.
fit.
I
You're-
love that.
You're in a. I'll say we're starting out at a controlled position right now,
Okay.
and we'll call this standard effect.
Okay. That's a 6.
Okay.
I'll take the 1 6.
That'll be
And not
2.
that 1 or that 2. Fuck you guys. Redeeming itself, fan redeeming itself.
there'll be 2 ticks on the clock, with no penalties. As the voice or the voice seems to ruminate on that for a moment, and then responds saying, "The Baron has provoked our ire time and again. On this matter, we can agree. However, we must pose this query once again. If your goal is against his, why do you facilitate his actions?"
Unfortunately, we ourselves are not as omnipresent or, quite frankly, powerful as an individual such as yourself. An individual, my apologies, collective as yourself. Due to the nature of the unfortunate politics of the city, sometimes the most effective way of removing something unpleasant is to kill it from the inside. Our aims as of present may appear that we wish to aid the Baron. However, our ultimate goal is to implode his ventures from within.
The voice seems to accept this. The 12 in unison, their heads turn as if to nod, and then address. Let's start with.
Everyone look down. Don't make eye contact with the teacher. You won't get called. You won't get called.
Looks at Fume.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
And says, "This one, this abomination. We have witnessed this technology, this perversion of the natural order. Are you one of his? Do you belong to him?"
It is the most disgusted Fume has ever looked. The sheer thought of him being owned by the Baron is like, if there was a vein in the temple, it would be throbbing right now.
Salome places a hand on Fume like, brah, we said we would be polite.
I am willing to take 3 fucking trauma right now to nuke these motherfuckers. I'll go 4 if you want. With the hand on his shoulder, he inhales slightly, visibly calming himself down. That man, the Baron, I do not belong to him, nor will I ever. I am my own person. I make my own choices. And damn anyone who tries and cages me.
Gonna go ahead and have you make a roll.
Could I spend... Could it be a command roll? But I'm gonna spend 2 for Tinker. To turn it into a Tinker roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you're going to use your ability to.
So, like, as an intimidation thing, I'm gonna switch it to Tinker, and it just... A small electro field is just washing out over Fume, and it's, like, solidifying, making
Ow.
the air...
Ow. Ow. Ow.
Yeah, I'm down for that. So it's kind of like, again, an intimidation, but it's more of a show of like,
I can
like-
handle
like
myself.
well, and also like
Yeah.
my interpretation is almost like a show of like indignation, like by showing offense to what they said.
You have
you
slighted me
prove-
some way.
You prove them wrong that you are
You
not.
bite your thumb at me, sir?
I bite my thumb, but not at you, sir! Okay, cool. That's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, and again, we're still in a controlled position with standard effect. So with a 5, you do get 2 ticks on the clock. However, I want to give you an option here. No, I'm just gonna take 1 on the bad clock. I think you see like it tests their patience slightly that you are your response like being antagonistic, but they also understand like it puts them on guard to a point of like, okay, they respect, like you get the impression of like a respect for your offense to that, but also a distrust for your nature, which you kind of flexed there for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And your sort of volatility. But they say, we understand then. You do carry the mark of another, however. A creature, a demon.
Is this offensive to you?
It would depend. What is the name of the one whose contract you carry?
Baphomet?
Belphegor.
Belphegor. It's so many demons. Too little time.
It's okay.
Belphegor.
There's a moment of pause. This one is unknown to us.
If it makes any difference, I have not been in contact with them for some time.
Very well. They turn their attention to glass. The 12 sets of eyes locking onto you.
You reminded of your thesis arguments at all?
They speak and say, this one we have seen before through other eyes in other places.
Yes.
What does one who destroys our kind mean by coming here?
That's tough. I simply do what it takes to survive. I'm sure you can understand that.
And how does wearing the mask of a slayer, of one who sets about to destroy one our kind, body and soul, how does this protect you?
Well, no offense. Duskwall's only so big, and I like my space in it. But it's my job to wear masks. The one of a captor or destroyer of spirits is only one of many. The thing that is necessary in our home for survival. 1 ounce of weakness and you're gone.
All right, I'm gonna get a roll from you too.
Okay.
Of
what variety?
It was teetering on a risky limited for a moment, but I'm gonna go with risky standard.
I think that's a pretty good argument.
It was. And I think when you initially said like it's so I can survive, I don't think they were gonna take that, but then you explained it a little bit more.
I imagine to add to it then, I do imagine wearing different faces is a survival mechanism you understand.
Yeah, we're gonna do a roll to see if they understand the the subtext of that. Let's probably a sway.
I love a sway.
And we'll call this risky standard.
Well, let me make sure. Do I have? Wait, I have something for this. I may or may not have something for this. Now you know I'm gonna ask you again. What does potency mean?
Oh, right.
I don't know why I can't remember. I'm gonna write it in the mood.
It's very different depending on the situation.
I'm gonna write it in the mood.
It's like
right
offsides in soccer. Like I don't know
what that means.
So potency, let me show you.
You gain potency when communicating with the supernatural.
So potency factor considers particular weaknesses, taking extra time or a bigger risk, or the influence of arcane powers. The electrical discharge from a lightning hook is potent against a ghost. The supernatural powers of a ghost are potent against a human. Then trace more potent than lights. That doesn't answer my question. So it's one of the things that I assess when. Okay, there it is. So it's one of the things that can affect can change the effect of something. So like if you have potency, then I consider that when it comes to determining what kind of effect you have in any situation.
I'm gonna say potency equals potential greater effect.
So
okay, I gain potency when communicating with the supernatural.
Huh. Okay, I'll give you great effect then.
Yay! I was seeing if I had anything for like extra dice too, because I've been stacking up all the ghost abilities. Always aware. That's gather info. I'm not gathering info. That's a resistance roll. Okay, I think it's just that one.
Okay.
Yeah, just that. Just had dice on my hand. Let me do it. Okay. So risky. Great.
Yes.
Excellent. I feel like they just naturally probably understand a little bit better how to. Wow, that's a 6.
6. Okay. That is 3 ticks.
I mean, when you have a list of abilities that are like ghost mind, ghost voice, like all in a row, it makes sense to be good at the thing.
Okay. Yeah, there's a kind of like there is a connection. You can feel like how to communicate with, like you understand innately that this is not a being. I mean, this is clearly an intelligent being, but intelligence, reason, isn't necessarily what drives spirits. It's emotion, and that the power of their anger and their unfinished work, and the motivations that inspire them in life kind of bleeding over into their afterlife. I think you are able, like, presenting this in a very calm way, and not necessarily but kind of presenting this in a way to essentially calm the spirit. Though it is quite powerful, the same principles apply.
Manipulation's still manipulation.
And you feel the spirit calming in that response, and
Seems that
to
we understand each other.
accept that. And then it turns to Grackle. We have seen your memories. We understand the pain, the rage. We understand the hatred that you carry. Do you truly believe yourself capable of seeing this through to the end?
I'm here, ain't I? I mean, look at me. This would have stopped anyone else.
That could be true.
Say whatever you like about me. One of my finer qualities is the fact that I don't know when to quit.
And you carry no remaining love for your father.
I think she just stares at them.
I'm going to go ahead and have you make a roll.
I think anyone on the receiving end of a Grackle stare could definitely be commanded or intimidated.
I think command could work here. I know how
For
bad
me,
your
it'd be
sway
for
is,
less.
so I'd be happy to go with that.
I'd be happy to roll it for you.
All right, we're gonna go with risky standard.
Okay. I can do that too. 6.
Damn, y'all are crushing it.
We understand the assignment. We came prepared.
It's not just a Grackle stare, it's a dead Grackle stare.
Now that it has seemingly weighed up each of you, the voice addresses all of you and says, "One weak link breaks the chain. It appears from our assessment that you carry the fortitude in each of you to accomplish the task that we have sought to achieve for some time. What is it that you ask of us in return?
Above table huddle.
Above table. Okay, guys.
Okay, what do you want? Okay, what do you want
will
here?
give you your privacy. Converse
Thanks.
amongst ourselves.
Oh, I'm putting in an Uber order. Do y'all want anything?
What kind of conversing would you do with yourself as a hive mind? Like, did I leave the stove on?
No.
Is it conversing with yourself, or is it just like a perpetual inner monologue?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But think of, you could play chess with yourself.
What if I don't like chess?
This is the conversation that we have in our huddle.
Yes. What do you think they're doing right now?
What should we order?
We're playing like
How about Chinese food?
playing
Oh,
like
we had
6
Chinese
different
food
board
last
games at the
week.
same time.
Oh my god.
Thai food. You're allergic to peanuts. Don't you remember that?
You're allergic to
They
peanuts,
have an
David.
accessibility option now. You can remove the peanuts. It's fine.
Oh, that makes things so much more convenient.
Actually, I really could go for a pad thai right now.
What
You make
did
me
I
hungry.
just say?
Thai food does. How can we get Thai food after this?
Thai sounds great.
You're allergic to peanuts.
Amazing.
Sorry. What do we ask the entity
What
for?
do we want?
I mean, I'm surprised. I just thought that we were coming here to be like, look at Grackle's arm. Grackle done hate these folks. Grackle literally has it burned into her spiritual being
It's
that she
so
don't kill
true.
these folks. Please
Yeah.
don't kill us. I didn't think we'd get a boon out of this shit. I was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going
Well,
that far ahead.
To backtrack to, y'all did come here. The goal for this job, in a meta sense, was to get you the network. What was it? The information.
Oh,
network.
Yes, yes, oh yeah.
Getting a ghost network?
We are, because we need what do you call it? Lookouts. We're getting lookouts. We're getting ghost lookouts. That's right.
The ghost lookouts
We
are
forgot
going
what
to
we
get
came here for.
Literally
disintegrated in
It's-
the night market.
Okay. In real life, it's been several weeks.
It's been several weeks. Yes. Out of kind of in table talk, the idea, the purpose of this job was to get the lookouts, thinking that the horde would actually be a very good source of information.
Right.
Beautiful.
That was the
Got
meta goal. Like the
Yes.
narrative goal was to just, like, please don't kill us.
Please stop boiling people in our hot tub.
Yeah,
We're working on it. You know,
Oh, is
while
that-
we're working on it.
Is that what's happening with the bathhouse? Y'all
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
inform me at all.
Oh yeah, there was literally a dude just sitting in the hot tub, like flaying alive.
Yeah.
And,
well,
and
there was nothing wrong. Let me clarify. There was nothing wrong with the tub. It was a hollow that was sitting in the
he
tub.
was just sitting in a hot tub for hours.
For hours.
And hours, to the point that one of our employees was like, there's a man just staring into space. I
There's a
don't
man in
think
the
he looked too
steam
good.
room.
Kind
There's a man in the hot
her.
tub. Yeah.
for a little too long.
Okay. Got it. Cool. If I take this one, y'all.
Go for it.
Okay. Cool.
All you-
Alright. And break. All right. Well, in hopes of facilitating this implosion from within of the Baron's empire, at present, there are several obstacles to us securing both supplies and allies in our work. The most significant of which is these new checkpoints, if you will, within the city. We have some idea of how we might overall overcome this issue. However, the very great assistance of your collective would, I imagine, be extremely helpful in that aim. quite frankly, you can literally be in places where we cannot.
I'm gonna go ahead and have you make what could be our final roll. I'm
Okay.
thinking sway, probably.
Okay. How am I doing here? I want this to go good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna push.
Okay.
And what's my position and effect right now? Is it risky standard?
Y'all are doing really well. I think this is risky. Yeah, standard effect.
Okay.
Can I help?
Yeah. What do you do?
Help.
Okay.
Good talk.
Yeah, we can say. I mean, you've all contributed to this conversation, so I'm fine with you just saying that you help.
I'll take the help stress.
Okay.
all
Then
this.
I will give myself an additional die, and I will use my push to bring it to a greater effect.
Okay, so Glass is giving you a die, and then you're increasing the effect.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, yes, you can do that.
We are gonna be stressed as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing
You're
a lot.
telling
of red.
me.
I'm already 2
Oh,
away.
shit, I didn't even look at the numbers. We are stressed as hell.
I am
To be fair,
so
Grackle's been like that the
tempted.
entire.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Double six. Yes.
Sid,
Yes!
Sid, you're.
I'm sorry. Did I yell a lot?
No, I'm just concerned about your rib.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm bouncing. I can't turn.
Okay.
That's the problem.
okay.
I did let folks know that I sneezed and like pulled a rib out of my body. I've taken some Advil. I'm okay. If I'm here, it's fine. I just can't twist right now. So we're good. Bouncing, okay.
We're
Turning, not so
bouncing
good.
and shouting, good. Turning, bad.
Bouncing and shouting, okay. We're all right. It's the turning that will be a problem.
You hear
They-
that, chubby checkers? No twisting.
Yes, but I did not
Never
then
seen such a
also
negative
hurt
reaction.
myself on a crit, but I did
seen-
just get one.
Such a negative reaction to a crit in my life. RJ was so concerned about you.
So concerned.
I'm okay.
That
I'm
was
okay.
so sweet.
I'm okay. I did not re-shit my rib out. I'm okay. We're good.
Critical success. Okay. I think they're caught off guard for a moment because you see like 12 faces look at you a little bit like, that's it.
Of all the things you could want, lady.
Yeah.
It is in our experience that if we ask for cosmic powers, apparently the deficit is equally cosmic.
Yeah.
I guess if they look surprised, she'll even just add, we do not wish to take up more of your time or resources than necessary. Again, we do want to stress that we hope to be as much of an equal partnership for each other as we can.
The voice through these 12 forms speaks to you and says, if this assistance will push us towards accomplishing our mutual goals, we can provide you with the information you need. But you must guarantee us that this ends. You must guarantee us that the Baron is dead and his machinations, the siphon he has constructed, will be destroyed.
Siphon.
Fume taps, said, I knew about this already.
Oh, did you now?
Yes, I explained it to all of you. It's been some time out of game since the last. I'll update you after show.
Right. Okay. So Salome is aware of this. Got it. Sid got caught off guard again for a moment. There is nothing that I could guarantee more than by the end of this, the Baron shall be dead.
Very well. Then we have an agreement. The 12, how macabre are they going to get with binding this pack?
Because do I have to shake hands with all of them?
With all 12 of them.
A 12-way, a 13-way handshake.
And then how would that work with my handshake ability? Like, do I curse their bodies? Am I cursing it 12 times? I don't know.
Does it die 12 deaths?
No, I think what they do is they say, we shall bind this pact as we have bound all since ancient times. And the one at the end picks up one of the goblets and slices open their wrist to bleed into it and passes the other, who repeats the process until all 12 of them. And then the one at the end, the last one, hands you the chalice.
Please. I mean no disrespect or offense. This is a new method for me. Do you wish us all to bleed a portion into the cup?
Yes.
For those that are unable to bleed,
Your word will have to stand for theirs.
absolutely. I could do 2 cuts, perhaps.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Will you allow me to do it? I can minimal injury and damage.
Sure.
Snick, snick.
You all add. You don't have to be as
Back of forearms. We
Yeah,
don't
you
do
don't-
in your hand. Come on.
Sucks.
That
Blood is at a
sucks so
premium
much.
for them, so they're fine. They don't worry about that. But you don't have to add as much as they did. You all squeeze a few drops of blood into the chalice, and hand it and push it back towards them, and each of the 12 drinks from the chalice. And you feel a slight chill run up your spine, similar to the pacts that you have made others agree to.
Okay. Do I get the impression that if they break this pact, that it is similar to the pacts that I have made previously?
Probably, yeah. It's probably
Okay.
the same mechanics-wise. It's going to function the same as yours does, where
Beautiful.
you uphold your end, they uphold their end. Anyone breaks their pact, they're fucked. So,
Got it.
okay. And with that scene and an agreement forged in blood, that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Holy
As
shit
you have
bells!
Successfully accomplished your job here. We'll get to the aftermath of that next week, but
Yeah.
that went about as smooth as it possibly could, I think.
Yeah.
I did have in mind of what would happen
If we pissed it off.
if that had gone very bad. It would have been you all fighting your way out of a city of
Of hollows.
hollows.
Fun.
Yeah.
I made the conscious decision, Fume thought to himself, Don't piss it off. All right, I'm not speaking this entire time.
I did.
Hey, welcome,
I
welcome to Grackle.
did want to challenge.
That's what I do
everyone
all
to
the
make-
time.
Yeah, I did want to challenge everyone to make a roll because normally it's funny. Because
Yeah.
normally we're doing like combat
Oh yeah,
encounters,
totally.
and everybody is like fighting stuff, and Salome is like, "Well, I guess I'll try something." So this is kind of the opposite, where Salome is like, "I'm good at this. I'm gonna."
Yeah,
do
yeah,
this."
yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
else is like,
I-
"I guess I'll try something."
I'm so down. It was so good.
That was great. It was very fun.
Yeah,
It was
no,
very fun.
I love it whenever there's like a social encounter and everybody
Mm-hmm.
gets called out because it's always interesting to see what angle they're gonna take.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that went very well. So yes, we are gonna go ahead and call our session there for tonight. Let's do XP just super quick. Let's see, advancement. So for PC advancement, we had a couple desperate actions, so make sure you mark your XP for those.
Mhm.
Playbook specific XP triggers.
Calculation and conspiracy. We just bled for conspiracy. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background,
Oh, yes.
and struggle with the issues from your vice or traumas. So mark XP for those, and then crew advancement. Your
I
crew's.
can pull it up. real
I've got
quick.
it here.
You got it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or heist.
No.
Yeah, not in this case because this is more of a social thing. It wasn't really.
It was a house call.
Yeah, it was different than that. The contend with
with
challenges
shout.
above your current station, I'd say definitely.
But yeah,
this
yeah,
was
yeah.
a very powerful entity,
Entity.
probably like tier 5 or 6. So,
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't piss it off.
oh yeah, yeah, that would have gone very bad. I don't think there was a way for y'all to, when you were joking about like nuking it. So I was like, I don't even think I can. I don't think this thing is killable. It's just whether it's survivable.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
Camera.
Camera.
It might not be killable, but boy, will it hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Maybe I should.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. Y'all are loyal and flamboyant.
No, loyal and brutal, I believe now.
Oh, brutal. Okay.
I can't believe I've never thought of this before. I really thought you were gonna say flammable.
Well, everyone's a little flammable.
One of you just lights yourselves on fire every session just to prove that you're still flammable.
Flammable and inflammable. Why do they mean the same thing?
I think loyalty is an interesting one. Like, it probably could mark an XP for.
We showed
For that.
loyalty to each other
And to
Well,
Grackle.
and to Grackle.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
and again, you came in here to forge an agreement, and not to like, undermine. You didn't come in here to, you didn't lie to this thing just so you could trick it into, killing it. So, excellent. And then express the goals, beliefs, inner conflict, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
Every session.
No, I'll definitely did that. Perfect. So I assume, did somebody have the sheet up to market at least? I don't know if I did.
I'll do it.
So I
I
think
got
y'all
it.
got 3 XP for the crew.
Cool.
Okay.
I got it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Alrighty then. We're gonna cut short a little bit here because we're over time. Actually, I can at least do the. Are there quotes on the doc? Or-
Oh, there's
couple.
so many quotes today.
Oh boy, I'll quickly do that so I don't forget. Since y'all need to mark your XP for those, and then we'll just have y'all share your stars and wishes in the
Yeah.
group chat. But for our quote for today, normally I look these over when y'all are doing your stars and wishes, so I'll read these real quick. God damn it! I think that the first one is. It wasn't even on stream. Let's see. Man, the ongoing rubber duck thing was really good.
The thing, I swear.
That was really good.
It is. I know it. I know
Uh,
of it.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna give it to Fume either way, because I did like the "I'll be damned if I let anybody cage me."
That one's pretty good.
Yeah,
So I'll give it to you
badass.
for that. But runner up was the duck.
And I do think I did it 3 times, so I got that off my list.
Oh, good, good.
Sick.
All right. Well, that is going to be it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next Saturday. We should be pretty clear for a bit. So we're back next Saturday to continue our game. Join us in the meantime. Monday, Red Jenny, Dragon Age TTRPG. It's going to be a ton of fun there. But yeah, thank you to my lovely players for making this game such a joy to run, as always. And thank you, everyone out there, for watching. We will see you in a week. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.